Hi, Divinely Magnetic. Welcome. Hi, Dusty. Welcome. Thanks for being here. So Human Design Hotline, if you guys are new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. My name is Brenna. I am a Human Design reader, astrologer, and psychic medium of 10 years. Technically, the psychic mediumship part my whole life. And here we do 10-minute readings. It's $15. The link to sign up is in my bio. I'm cross-streaming to YT, the tube of you, at the same time. So hello to my YouTube crew on my left-hand side. So that when you guys get a reading with me, you do get a recording. Hi, Anna. Which is not something that people usually do on TikTok. So hello. Hi. I just saw the tag, but I didn't actually see anything there. No, it's fine. I've done that too. I fat finger the keyboard very often, especially because of my nails. Do you have Cancer or Leo in your big three? You have such beautiful hair, and the background I noticed right away too. But I am a Pisces sun, so for those of you who don't know, Aquarius rising, Scorpio moon. Oh, Libra! I love that. Well, Venusian. I get a lot of Libras because you guys and gals fall into my 8th house. I don't have any Libra actually. Well, 8th house depending on in my Placidus chart as well. It's so funny when I can, when this wax like solidifies, I just like put it back so that I can keep using it again and again. I love that. Yes, Anna, another beautiful Libra. I love it. I love it. Oh, let me get my notifications up so I can see when you guys book. That make sure I'm not yapping over anybody here. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions about human design, psychic mediumship, astrology, you can drop any general questions in the comments below. I was talking about electromagnetic channels when it came to human design last night. What else were we talking about? We had some good conversation last night. I switched my live schedule where I'll be Thursday nights from 7:30 to 9:30 Eastern. So it's currently 7:38 my time. In the EST time zone, and then I will be live again on Saturday from 2:30 to 3:30 Eastern. 2:30 to 4:30 Eastern is what I get when I'm multitasking. I am a manifesting generator. Are you a projector? Or do you have, I get a lot of projectors and projector Libra combos like Anna. So I was like, that'd be so funny. Yeah, I can, Chelsea. If you want to drop both of your charts, I can look at both of them side by side and we can get a little intel for you. Hello. Oh, yay. 1-3 projector. I'm a 1-3 as well. Real recognizes real. So what's cool, Divinely, is that every one of our channels in human design, that like what makes you a projector, what makes me a manifesting generator, has a different flavor of energy type. 2 of my 3 channels are projector flavored channels. So I always say, and I said this yesterday, even though I'm a manifesting generator, I operate very similarly to projectors. I feel like, especially as I've gotten older, I'm just ending my Saturn return, that I, let me cut this, I'm performing surgery on my candle as we're live. But my energy levels I have to be like even more aware of too. So I feel that. Well, our 1-3s, that's why we need a lot of, hi Diva, we need a lot of alone time, we need a lot of introspection as 1-3s, especially projectors regardless. But yeah, the introspection piece is very real. Introspection, just like time alone to like process like what's happening, why it's happening, why are we the way that we are, what are we doing, where are we going. Dual monitor set up here, so make sure I get this up too. Oh, this Samantha, okay. But yeah, it's real, it's very real, very real. But I am very excited. These, as a Pisces, it's so, 4-1, I get a lot of 4-1s too. I love that. Okay. Trickster energy. You guys are only 1% of the population are 4-1s actually, so you guys are rare. And in like, you'll hear that you guys don't have like a lot of karma. However, every 4-1 that I say that to, you're like, really? Because I feel like I'm the generational curse breaker in my life. Like, what do you mean there's no karma? I feel like I'm cleaning up everybody else's karma. And what that kind of means more so is that like you're able to be a little bit more diplomatic and like see both sides. I actually think 4-1 energy can be very Piscean in the lens of profiles in human design, because you're like, almost like if we were to say Libra in a lot of ways too. It's not like an exact correlation between profiles and whatchamacallit, the 12 signs of the zodiac, but yeah, it's very like, how do I weigh both sides? Because you're what's called the juxtaposition cross in your incarnation cross in human design is a 4-1. And then there's people who have left angle and right angle, basically just very fancy vocabulary words that tell me the way that if you have a lot of people that will help you in your life path, or if you are more meant to go along like a solitary path. I'm a right angle person in human design, a right angle cross in my incarnation cross. So for me, it's more about like, what can I do on my own to move my path forward, whereas a lot of left angle people need other people to help them kind of move forward. So hi Ash, yes, I was actually just, hi Sarah, I was just going back and answering comments from the other day, and I saw your comment also with your beautiful hair and your little bouquet, your bouquet flower emoji stuck out to me. This is where my Scorpio stellium comes in handy, because I remember a lot. So I try to go back and answer comments from a couple days past. At least I've been trying to be diligent about that, because these days have gotten away from me. Like, I feel like I blink and all of a sudden, like, the time is gone. And I see you for 7:50. I'll wait 1 more minute, 2 more minutes to 7:44 to see if Chelsea is booking that spot right now as we speak, or if anybody else is booking that spot. But I will start in 2 minutes in case no one else comes through in the meantime. So we'll wait another second. Yeah, take your time. Take your time. No pressure. I just wanted to make sure that, hi Ravandi, welcome. Oh, Bali. I love that. Bali's on my list of places to go. I have not yet had the luxury of going to Bali, but there's still time. There's still time. Okay, let me see. My comically large seltzer bottle. I wonder how. There's a lot of energy being pumped into our solar plexus for all of us. A lot of gates activated. And also, really, I was reading up on another kind of like studying our North Node being in Pisces right now, and how in human design, a lot of what I was talking about for this time, and I just posted my energy of the day for tomorrow, for Friday, looking at our North Node, and I wasn't talking about it specifically for tomorrow, but I touched on it in a different way. But basically, in human design, any one of our zodiac aspects, like we can have in astrology as well, in human design, it has like a positive use of it or like a not so great use of it. And so our North Node right now in Pisces is in gate 37, which is specifically known as the gate of friendship, gate of family, community, your chosen family. I always say that people who have gate 37, gate 4, the 4037 channel, you are folks who, you are folks who are really here to figure out like, who are the people that actually support me, and to teach us that like, sometimes it isn't blood. Sometimes blood isn't thicker than water, unfortunately. And we have to learn that the hard way. And so what's interesting about it, and kind of reading from, this is the definitive book of human design. It's linked in my profile. Okay, I see 8 o'clock for Chelsea. So we'll start with Anna in a second. But basically, it's either natural harmony and sharing, like making connections, natural connection with people, or it's the possibility of dependency that turns love into hate. I know that anyone who knows me knows that, especially in my personal life, if I have anybody that is like overly dependent on me and like is constantly like blowing up my phone, like if you know, like even especially it pisses me off when it's people who actually know about astrology and human design, and I'm like, I'm an introvert. I am friendly, but introvert does not equate to being nasty, rude, like, so I'm like, this is what is happening. I know Anna, you know too. So well, it's probably I'm bleeding like psychically, it's psychically tapping into your energy. But I was just thinking of that because it's causing some definition for you. Let me write down the timestamp of when we're starting your reading here. Oops. Okay, and we are at 9 minutes and 17 seconds for beautiful Anna. So let me kind of look at, advice on partnering. Oh yes, okay, I'm excited for this. So Anna has a beautiful opportunity right now for connecting in partnership. And so her question is advice on partnering with another business effectively. Number one, and it's so funny because I just mentioned this for today, I was like, there's nothing worse than like starting off with somebody as an entrepreneur, right? Like we get to choose the people that we work with, and there's nothing worse that like when you are an entrepreneur, you sign on with somebody that you're working with and they become insufferable over time. So what I automatically like, and what you already did and picked up on intuitively, is that the first stint of your project has an obvious end time, where you get to renew the contract for whatever it is that you want to renew it for, or you automatically have a buffer or an out for leaving that relationship if it no longer serves you. If you're like, you know what, like this was great, but like maybe this feels like a little too disorganized, or you're just ready. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but maybe you'll just be ready to move on in another way, and you got a little bit more intel. You're like, okay, this is cool. Like now what's next? Now what I'll tell you is to remember, and I think what a lot of us kind of get like mucked up and messed up with in spiritual businesses is forgetting that business is still business. It doesn't mean that you can't have a heart for other people, but like a lot of people in the spiritual space will try, especially with your placements too, Anna, like people love to control you and make you feel like you're indebted to them. Like that's a pretty big theme, I feel like, in so many of the relationships that we talk about for you. And you know, origin family and things like that. It's like they love to make you feel like, well, I found you first, and how dare you like, you know, go to leave me and go in this you know, whatever. And I'm already like, a couple things that I'm looking at, you know, I'm like, and even when you sent me like the screenshot already, I was like, okay, like no like real posting yet. Like I'm also assessing like reciprocity, right? So I'm like, you can say that all you want, but like if you have a social media presence that, you know, there's no followers, you're not really posting consistently, those types of things, it's like, let's give credit where credit is due. Just because I'm humble doesn't mean that like I'm not bringing anything to the table, you know, like let's like real should recognize real here, like let's appreciate that. So especially with your 2-4, like your 2 external is what's making you present as a hermit. Also the Libra, right? And I love what that, I wish I knew her name, but she's the, I always remember when I use it on live, but it like goes out of my head, but Blue Topaz, she's a Pisces rising, and she was saying how Libra is like the only zodiac sign that's an inanimate object, right? With the scales, it's not a like it doesn't have like Pisces is a fish, Taurus is the bull, etc. And so people see that and they're like, they can feel as a projector that you're reading them, and obviously with some Scorpio, Libra like energy, even looking at your North Node and South Node, it's like a lot of reminding yourself to have your autonomy. And just being a projector, it's like knowing that people know that you can see them so deeply, and so there's a natural energy of like expose, or even if they know that your aura is penetrating, so to speak. So it's like when you kind of go in that way, they like think that they are like caught with their pants down, is the best way I want to say it. Like they almost don't know how to handle that level of intensity. And so even though you know that you're just like, I'm just here to have fun, like I'm just here to have a good time. Ooh, that was looked like a little piece of dust, but it looked like an orb. But yeah, you know this. So, you know, when you're in those environments, even for clients, right, like you kind of have to learn how to react on the fly. I would look like, hi Ecuador, I would write down some of the things that like, if you kind of, and you're an observational person, so obviously, you know, you're gonna have some things, or even like using these lives as an example, or you've seen me, or things that people say or people ask that you're like, oh, like, I don't know, like, how would I respond to that? Or like, how, you know, what would my reaction be? Does how Brenna responded work for me and my Libra Mercury, or do I want to come off a little bit more diplomatic? Because like, I have the luxury here, right, in this place to shut down my phone, right? And if the event that I'm doing in Philly, I also have the luxury of like the tickets for their go between $350 and $500. People really want to be there. When you're in a physical location, especially in a major city, you want to remember that like you don't really know who's going to be walking in, which is the exciting part of it. But you're like, okay, what are the things that I can do to make sure that I'm dotting my I's and crossing my T's? So when I feel that kind of sense of nervousness and I don't know how to stick up for myself, you know, or I feel like with the undefined throat, it's like my throat gets a little tight. What are kind of like my plug and play? As you know, at Aquarius Mercury on my ascendant, like I love to have like my one-liners all the time, and I use them often for that reason, because it's just like a good way, especially as a manifesting generator and someone who, one of my go-tos is all that to say. And then it's like a nice way that allows people to understand, like, okay, we're coming to a close of a topic and we're moving on to the next one. It's why I keep my sessions to only 10 minutes, etc. thinking about the way that you want to book with people. I think like for me, like whenever I'm working with another business, I make it really easy for people to say yes to me by being the one that collects payment. I don't remember a time where I've had it where the business has collected payment on my behalf. Usually, because these are small businesses, it makes it easier. Like one of the places that I do readings at, well, and the event in Philly, they invited me. And so, when somebody invites me to their space, like, unless it's something that has like a huge reputable name, like I'm not really going to pay them a vendor fee per hour to be there. For me, it's like, okay, well, that I'm the talent. I obviously have something to offer. So like, you don't get a certain amount of followers for being bad at your job, unless that's the whole shtick, right? So yeah, I love that. That's what I love. I mean, you already know how going through and booking, like, how I love to do that for myself too. So I like it that way. And if you send them, like, go say, okay, within 3 business days, I'll send you the payment if they take a percentage. But, for me, coming in and putting in the effort to make my table look nice and all those kinds of things, I don't like to be in the position where I feel like I did all this work, I showed up, I schlepped my, stuff, my energy. Hi, Ryan. And then, like, you're expecting like 75% or something crazy like that. Hi, Delmarity, welcome. So, in that being said, right, get everything in writing. Don't be afraid. DocuSign is what I use. Like, that's the contract. Even a Google Doc, it could be a one sheet, like, something in email where like everything is trackable. Just dot your I's and cross your T's. Even if you love the person, it's like, no, this is just for clarity of us knowing that like this is our agreement. What are some of the things? I'm trying to think of some of the other things. Where are we on time? Okay, good. In the last like 3 minutes or so that I have you, what are some of the other things that kind of caught me by surprise at the beginning? Having a one sheet with a QR code so that when you're reading I'll show you what mine looks like somewhere here. So that when you're reading, these you could get at Staples, you could get it on Amazon. This is an outline. I just made it in Canva. It's like I edited one that was in Canva so that when you're reading for somebody else and somebody else wants a reading, you don't have to get interrupted. So that way, it makes it easy for the next person to sign up. Now, at events in person, if it's not that busy, like if someone signs up and I just know that it's a way for me to capture payment, sometimes I'll also put like Venmo on here too, or at the end, like I'll just collect someone's Venmo if it's a little slower. Like sometimes at the place that I'll go to in North Jersey that I've been the last couple times, it's slow enough where like we could just do it that way. But like for you, I don't know like where or how, but long story short, it'll help your strongest sense is action. So like as much as you can get done where you just have to show up the day of, by the time a good event planner, this is what I learned, doing this for so long, a good event planner, when you get to the event, it should feel like it's pretty much 95% over. Everything, the devil's in the details of the planning leading up to the day. When I was in my apartment, and I was doing events, yeah, sounds good. I was setting up the table in my apartment to see how it looked. I had like a certain tablecloth that I used, certain crystals that I wanted to bring, my one sheet, and because I don't like things to look bare, like nothing like is more unattractive when like you go into a space and you can tell that people just kind of like slap things together. In other places now, just because like I've done this, like they'll have a table ready for me, they'll have certain things ready for me. I make sure that I get there early enough so I could get the Wi-Fi password, to sign in and so I can pull up their chart. I have my laptop or an iPad. I don't like to use my phone for that. It kind of just looks like, if that's all you have, it's fine, but I would definitely upgrade to like a bigger piece of tech so that you could see, and they could see like a little bit of a bigger screen. What else? And I like the kind of buffer because it's a lot of energy to close quarters, right? So having a laptop is like, there's a little bit of a protective layer. I think that just because like part of your path is also like sticking by your principles as a gate 49, North Node, Aquarius North Node, it's like learning how to, like people who push your buttons, like somebody being like, okay, tell me what you know, like a little bit of that arrogance, but they'll still pay you anyway. Regardless, I would say in Calendly, that I have this too, it always says non-refundable. It's affordable, like just because you couldn't whore me out for, $100 worth of information, 5-minute reading, like, let go and let God. Yeah, I feel like that's enough to get you started without overwhelming. And like, again, we always need like the data to respond to, I always say. So just like with everything in writing, and remember that you work with this person, you don't work for them. The energy that I got was a little prickly. I think there's like a little bit of edginess that has nothing to do with you, but it could be easily taken out on you because you're a nice person. So just kind of prepare for like those moments, but remember, like, you're only there for a couple hours. You're doing what you have to do. You take the opportunity in an environment because someone's giving you a formal invitation as a projector, and then you do what you have to do to remind yourself of like who the F you are, what you're bringing to the space, and you know what you're providing for that person too. Like, you're a person that is great at your job. You've read for me before. Obviously, I endorse you 100%. So it's like just not letting people forget that just because of that too. Yeah, it just feels like a little like holier than thou is the word, which just comes from a place of like deep like scarcity for maybe having like not a lot growing up. If I had to like just kind of psychically tap in, it's like a and it's very like we see it so much in the city, right? It's like it's like very much like I have to protect what's mine. And so like I would imagine there's probably going to be a little bit of the energy of like not wanting any connection out with those people that are in her store outside of the store, but the way around that is kind of like, because these are still connections that you're making too, like, oh, follow me on Instagram because I'll post the next time I'm in here, something along those lines. It's all about the art of the vocabulary, as you know, my 4426 channel. So I'm excited for you. I'll put a pin in it for now, and then obviously we'll chat in the interim too. Thank you, Orion. That's so cute. I love that. It's so like on brand for your colors too. But yeah, okay. And let me pause here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can look at Chelsea's chart. I'm actually going to go into my old platform of the, that's not, mybodygraph.com to do a composite chart, because I can do one chart at a time in my software, but this will be easy because I can blend the two together. So we can look at a composite chart for Chelsea. I was like, when was the last time I used this? I couldn't even remember. Ooh, I love the birth location. Oh, okay, fellow Pisces. He's 4 days after me. Oh, I was like, why isn't this coming up? It's so funny. So my, as I'm putting in his chart too, my grandmother lived next door to this man that he was like an uncle to me, but he was the next door neighbor for my grandmother growing up, and he was born and then buried in Worcester. So I'm like, I was so like, my grandmother had moved down here. It was a long story, but essentially I didn't know that he passed away. And I always wanted to go to Worcester to be able to see his, where he's buried, to go to the cemetery. So maybe I'll have to prioritize that. Let me make sure it did this the right way. For your birthday being correct, because it's the opposite of how I have mine set up. Okay, I'm just talking out loud to make sure that I'm doing this right. Okay. Yeah, isn't that funny? I know, it's like always like the connections. Yeah, Anna, of course, I'm excited for you. Okay, so let me write down the timestamp here. So we are at 24:55. And again, if anyone wants to book, I'll be on for about another hour. So $15, 10 minutes. Link is in my bio to do so. So, okay, perfect. And you guys get a recording. So, okay, when we're looking at a composite chart, we basically overlay both of the human design body graphs on top of each other. And so this is what we're looking at here. So Chelsea, all of your information, your personality side and your design side are side by side next to each other. Your BF, right, the prospective partner to be in some capacity is on the right hand side. So basically, like, it's so funny because like I think that like, and I love like saying this because I can be so transparent, and like I know like my personality is like intense. So especially being as a Pisces, him and I both have the same type of Pisces sun. We're both gate 63 Pisces. So in moments where like if I say something that's like you could, I know when it happens and I can feel it. I don't know if it's happened with you specifically, but I just know that it's happened. Hi, Crystal. On live before, where I'll say something and people are like, oh my God, like, why do you keep poking holes in my fun thing? Like, why do you keep like poking holes in my plan or whatever it is? And the reason I do that is because the type of Pisces that I am and he is gate 63. So we're known as the gate of doubt, gate of skepticism. So when somebody's telling us something, our initial mental filter that we have for like listening to your story is trying to correct where there's like a soft spot in the floor, so to speak. So like if you're walking and trying to make a really solid foundation, there may just be a soft spot in the floor, and we're like, okay, I need to fix and figure out like where is that point of tension and how can we fix it and resolve it. Now, especially when it comes to your partners, like you guys know when you do a reading with me, like there's more of the expectation that that's what I'm gonna do, especially if you know me for a while. I'm like, here's where you could fix this, here's where you can, fix that, whatever. What's also interesting is that he has a Leo moon, so also a very fiery moon sign. And so in gate 29 in human design, he like is Leo moons can go one of two ways, right? And also as an Aries moon, like this like by personal development too. It's like it's my needs and I need them met now. His Leo moon is in gate 29, so I also wonder if that would be potential for maybe for him to be a little, I don't want to say, maybe a little codependent. Like he may, I wonder if you would get turned off at the fact that he would be a little too submissive to you. Unless his like defined throat, and it depends on like, okay, was he just born in Germany, like military brat, or was he like raised with a German philosophy where he could be like a little bit more confrontational in that way, being so undefined? Because look at how undefined his chart is. He only has 2 centers defined, including his G center, which is like what can make people codependent in a relationship, like at military brat. Okay, yeah. Okay, love that. Yeah. It's like, again, nature versus nurture of like, how does this resolve? And also because like this is I call it like the genius freak channel. It's like the Elon Musk energy. I used to say that more than I do right now for obvious reasons, but essentially it's like being very hard-headed. So I like that because I think that you'll have a little bit of like, that's where the spiciness comes from. But just remember that like respect always has to be at the core. So finding that balance is going to be important. We look at how defined you are, and you basically, he fills in your open centers, right? And then you fill in his open centers. It's like 2 puzzle pieces of body graphs that come into place. Now, who has you're the 4037 channel. Just want to look at, you both have gate 54 channel of drive, which I really love. It's like, who's getting in the way? So his Jupiter is conjunct your Uranus. Here's gate 51. Your Mars, gate of shock. Yeah, I mean, your 1222 channel as well. I would also look at, okay. I just read the the actual line that you wrote. I went right to the birth date, so I didn't look like at the actual line. This is the thing, especially because of the alpha energy, and like anytime we have like this situationship type of energy, it's kind of like the male version of like the slang like term can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Like especially for projector men, they can, even though it's very alpha in mentality, they're also projector men are very feminine. They really like to be the baby, and they, in our society, a lot of projector men are like overcompensate because they need a lot of rest, and they associate rest with being feminine, so they overcompensate by being alpha. I think that, you know, especially like you deserve more than that, especially because of like what you like about it. And this is where it's the 1222 channel that you guys make a connection with. It's like great, but like you're really riding the addiction of the emotional highs and lows. And like, because I know obviously your background with your family, right? Like it's like it mimics that kind of like familiar, but just because something is familiar doesn't mean that it's good for us. And so we're just repeating kind of like the same cycles of like, oh, I actually don't have to be super committed to this thing. But it's kind of like, if we're reading the charts, it's like of a situationship that leads me to believe that there's a desire for you to have something more out of it. But it's like really objectively looking at this person and say, oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's just, it's so funny that you said that, because it's very, like, that's a karmic thing. So his Pluto is conjunct his south node, your Pluto is conjunct his south node. So it's kind of, if your Pluto is conjunct his south node, that's like a karmic lesson for him. Hi, Katie, or Kate, sorry. That's a karmic lesson for him in like you, and gate 43 is literally like you being insightful. He will only learn when he doesn't have access to you anymore. He will only desire you and try to get his shit together when you aren't available. So it's like right now, and a lot of men are okay for years riding on the potential of what something can be and letting you believe that to get what they want in the moment. And projector men can also be very manipulative that way. It's like, what can I tell you to make you hear what you want to hear versus like the reality of what is. So I would also just kind of like, a lot of what it's giving, especially just knowing more of what we talked about yesterday, the channel of rhythm, and now the emotional wave that has that connection for you. It's like how mature, because I could, again, it's like his, like, yeah, yeah, I understand, girl. I feel for you. I've been through it, like in my early 20s, I understand. Well, like mid 20s actually, with the Leo projector. And I was like, okay, like, what do you mean? Hi, Larry. Like, what do you mean you're upset now? Like, because you didn't get your, you know, pushing 35, you're like almost 10 years older than me. What is this? It's always like the guys that are older, that are, and also, yeah, he's 5 years older than the 1991 that, like, that was my experience. And yeah, I like for you that it's his Pluto is in conjunct your south node. I like that you're in control here. But it's like what you like, but also probably is really fucking annoying at the same time, because you're like, this is fine, but like, you know that you deserve and want. It's like, even if it's like, okay, yeah, deserve, I know that it's like, we hear that all the time, but it's like, you just are you've outgrown it. It's probably kind of boring, and it's like, okay, like, this is now just unattractive. Like, this is just like, it fulfills a need, like a primal sacral desire, if you will, but like, it doesn't really do the rest of, it's not giving what it's supposed to give. Especially if like you want to start a family or you want to get married, like those are certain things. Like it's like I keep going back with him to like the can't turn a hoe into a housewife with him. I feel like he just like, is everything have to be so serious? Yeah. And then we level out. And that's the thing, like, just because you level out, and that's like, we can see how the relationship is repeated with your mom, right? Like, it's like just because things get calm again doesn't mean that they disappear, right? It's like silence, and the silent treatment is not an apology, right? Like, you could be silent, you could ignore, you know, the issue and go away for a while. It's so much easier. Yeah, like rules and guidelines. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't like I'm glad you mentioned the Pluto conjunction to his south node, because I didn't even see that. 43, and like very tight conjunction, like a degree apart. Yeah, and also your gate 15 is your south node. What's his gate 5 is? Yeah, Uranus, your south node on your personality side. It's not something that you would have seen in your natal chart, is conjunct his Uranus on his design side. So it's like, he's probably not even aware that he needs more of a routine, and he's probably also addicted to kind of like the, now I see her, now I don't, like what is happening, you know, like the like addicted to the chase type energy. What do you feel like, to kind of like why do you feel, what do you like about this situation? Like, what are you attracted to in him? Because he could like also have like be really smart in a lot of ways, like be very driven. Yeah, that's like, I know me like asking you that question kind of simultaneously. His Aries Venus, it's definitely very passionate. I would say like if you are both, like if he's good in business, oh yeah, and then I changed my, oh, I'm so glad, Nikki. Oh, thank you. Hi, Shani, welcome. Ali joined. Oh, I don't know what you mean, Shani. I'm sorry. Yeah, I bet she did. I don't remember. Yeah. The intensity, the spiritual connection. Yeah, I feel like, is he like, what, when you say spiritual connection, is it real spiritual connection, or is it like performative male spirituality? Like, okay, cool, bro, you go and do like trips in Costa Rica, and like you go to Colombia like every other person I know. Like, is it that kind of vibe, or is it like, oh, like you actually, you know, are sharing more than a thought that I had when I like when I was 11, you know? Yeah. Yeah. I wonder. Let me see. Yeah, Shani, I think like read the room for like what we're actually talking about. Like this is a paid reading for Chelsea, so it's like, of course, like it's not going to be for all people. Like, use your discernment, please. I'm looking at somebody's chart specifically, so it's not a generalization. I expect that also to be something that people use their brain cells for. Year 13. Yeah, also your gate 13 too can attribute to that too. Gate of the listener. Your Saturn conjunct Mars. You're a gate 17. Yeah, your moon literally being in his head, in his ajna, having a little bit of that connection too. Yeah, I mean, just kind of having that, wait, I would love for you to guess. It's also very tied to, my Mercury's on my ascendant, so that's why I'm like, I can be very quick. Hi, Neff. To be able to have that, I know, Shawnee, it's so easy to categorize us, isn't it? I feel like it's just so hard to go back, like, especially just knowing projector men, it's so hard to go back and, like, it's literally like this type of energy, like so hard to rewrite the rules of what you started out with. So it's like being able to have that kind of energy where you're like, you've gone in and you've kind of trained the behavior to be one way. It like, how can you, it's all, for most men, especially like this, it's like, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? So it's like, because they don't have anything to work towards, like traditional heteronormative men love a goal. So like, thank you. So when they don't have a goal, or they feel like there's nothing else to necessarily up level towards, it's just it's very hard. And I'm trying to think of somebody that I even know in my life that has ever turned a situationship like into an actual like functional relationship where like they don't have the band-aid child. Like I don't know that in any of my clients that have had love readings to me. Yeah, and I think it's like, I mean, to me that's just boring, and it's like such a trope. Like I run, he chases me. Like it's just like, you like, it's 2026, like we're women with businesses, and like don't we want like I just feel like there's an element of that when we get to a certain age that's just like, yeah, it was cute when you're like 22 and it's like your first relationship. And I don't mean this to say you disrespectfully, the tag, yeah, but it's like, he's in his 40s. Like, really? You know, like we're 40 years old and you haven't had a little bit more figured out. Like, it just is like, I wouldn't put all my eggs in the basket of somebody like that, you know? So it's like, I'm like, why, especially for people like that, if they haven't been married before, that's why like the dating pool is harder when you get older, because it's like you haven't been married at this point. Like if you're divorced, at least like we tried something. Being somebody that wants that, right? Like you guys have to understand like context, and everyone online obviously, like we just saw, like loves to just hear everything that we say as a generalization and not thinking about the actual experience. But like with him in particular, it's just like he's in Aries Venus. Like I think like he has to be like humbled a little bit, you know. It's like you're not like, there's other people that you can find that are much more interested, that know how to actually like date you. And I just don't see why, like what's so great about him other than it feeling like intoxicating, which is like, okay, great. But when we look at our emotions, like objectively, like what does this actually do for me? Like I love to be alone, right? So it's like, you have to actually contribute. And I think that's the thing too. Like, does he actually allow you to pursue him? Thank you. Like, or does he actually is he Freudian slip, does he want you to pursue him, or like does he actually make the effort to like be, because you are in a heteronormative relationship and that is like more of the vibes of what you want, like does he actually plan dates? Does he actually say, hey, at this time in this place, like, do you want to do something? Especially as an Aries Venus man, I'm married to one. When an Aries Venus man wants you, he will I don't have to open a car door. I don't have to do anything. Like, it's very much so that. And Pisces as well. So like 2 out of the big, you know, personal placements that he has are also ones that my husband have in different places. And also, I'm 40s apart from him, same type of Pisces degree. So like, I know this energy very well. If he wanted to in that way, he would, like truly, right? So it's like, you know, like as somebody that's 40, it's like, and this is the best thing that I can say full circle, if I looked at a man that was like 10 years older than me and I wouldn't trade places with him, and I wouldn't be embarrassed to say like, this is what he does, or this is what he, you know, what he does for work, like I wouldn't date him. Like I wouldn't make him anything more than that. So I think just like some real like hard like girl to girl conversations about like really understanding, like you have to be very you have to understand. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I just wonder if he is just even capable of giving you, I think it's true, like you waiting on somebody's potential is the worst thing that you can do, right? So it's like knowing that he could do that, but he chooses not to, is like, especially as an Aries Venus conjunct Mars, like it's like I would watch the ways that he acts in the other areas of his life. Like, are there other things that he takes like more immediate initiative on? You know, and really like, because I just don't see you being satisfied with somebody that, yeah. So, you know, and maybe that's for him. Maybe he's not somebody that he wants like housewife, traditional businessman. I think of like the Salaryman. If you guys are on YouTube, it's like Salaryman Japanese videos. So it's like men who work in Japan, or like I think of like a Wall Street New York guy. You know, like they really want, like they kind of are like Wolf of Wall Street energy, which is, you know, if you want to fit in. I have a friend of mine who's a beautiful Libra. Her boyfriend is 60, she's 32. And that works for them, right? But it's like, if you are okay with that, that is what works for you. But I think getting clear on like, as a Gemini Venus, like you like the lack of attachment. But I think that when you go home at night, right? Like if you kind of think about like how I think of Gemini Venuses in that scenario, well, at least gate 20 Venuses, conjunct your Mercury. Communication's already going to be important for you anyway, because your Venus is conjunct your throat, your communication station, Gemini stellium. Like, you can be the people that like seem really autonomous. Like, if you guys go to my Instagram, you go to my social media, besides the day that I got married, like, you guys don't see my husband. I mention him, you guys know that he exists, but like, he's not like visible on my social media. That is no testament to our relationship, but my business is my business, like literally, and his business is his business, right? So like, that works for us, and we don't see social media as like a need in our relationship to, you know, post every single day. There are some people, especially old me 10 years ago, Scorpio moon, that would have been like so upset about that, you know, without having my own business. Yes. And I think that really taking note as to like, is it that type, or is it like, oh, I want to keep people hidden because I don't want to, like, I want to keep my options open sort of thing, you know? And if you guys, like, if you're the type of people that, like, could flirt with other people and you don't see it as cheating or, like, whatever, it's like you can come up with those rules. But I think it really comes down to, like, energetically, to me, it just feels like you're craving more of, like, stability in a romantic relationship. And I think not to allow yourself, to see boredom as boring, you know, or to see, like, safety as, like, when you're used to so much chaos in your life because of your origin family, like, it can make you be afraid to have something that's more stable. And I think, like, kind of identifying what are the ways that you enjoy stability, where do you need, like, a little bit more, like, activation, you know, and some people want to argue with their partner. Some people like that. It's a turn on for some people, right? That's, like, you know, the things that I can say in the internet in so many ways, but, like, that can be part of your shtick, you know, or it could be, like, you just have to figure out what you want your setup to be. And that's something that takes time and practice of your human design experiment. I can't fully tell you in, you know, even 20 minutes, like, what exactly that's going to be. But thank you for letting me use you as a longer conversation. That's important, because I have a lot of women that have been coming to me about love and men actually recently, and just kind of really trying to understand, 2 Gemini Venuses actually as well, trying to understand, like, what they want, what their needs are, like, just kind of saying, like, okay, like, this is a prospect, but what do I actually need out of this dynamic? And is he capable of providing that? You know, generally speaking, for the way that he's acting for a heteronormative male that wants to be a provider, and, you know, provide in a way that's not just financially, but exactly financially, but emotionally, you know, it could be chaotic good or chaotic evil. And you have to decide, like, you like to change things up. You don't like being bored, but, like, that kind of, like, changing things up really quickly and moving around and traveling and doing those sorts of things doesn't have to be equated to dysfunctional. So it's like seeing chaos as more of a neutral word, and, like, shaking things up versus having it be like, oh, we're arguing again. Because, like, I know that, like, I just don't, at my age, I'm like, oh my God, like, who has time to argue about things like that? You know, like, especially for a guy in his 40s, I'm not doing that. And either, you know, they understand or they don't. So it's up to you. But I think just really sitting with yourself, I think if I could give you any homework, it would be to really understand, like, don't even think about him. If you can put him out of your mind for, you know, 5 minutes as you're doing an exercise, 10, 15, and say, like, what is it that, like, when I really think about, like, what I enjoy about a relationship, or what I picture my life to be with a partner and a longer term partner that I actually date, what does that look like? Maybe as a Gemini Venus, you prefer being polyamorous. Maybe it's that, like, you're forcing yourself to feel like you have to be in a monogamous relationship when that's not your jam. I have friends that are polyamorous, it works for them, you know, or, like, one of them is in it, one of them's out. It wouldn't work for me, but I, like, leave space to be open to allowing people to be themselves and figure out, like, what makes them happy. So I would just sit and kind of think about that, like, maybe, you know, especially with Uranus coming for you, it's like, okay, let it sit for the next couple. I think it's April 27th, if I'm not mistaken. I was looking at the ephemeris yesterday and today. Oh, I actually have it. Hold on. Where is your... I'll circle it now so I remember. Yeah, April 27th is when Uranus enters Gemini. So there's that. You know, if you're sick, do you see this person taking care of you? Do you want somebody to take care of you when you don't feel well? Like, those are conversations that, like, I'm a Pisces and a Pisces Venus girl. Like, I want to be baby when I don't feel good. So it's like, that to me is important. My highlighter, but oh well, we'll save that for another moment. But yeah, so just some more things to kind of think about. Hi, Caroline. I know someone was asking me about my readings from last year. I don't know if you're still here, but let me know. But yeah, Chelsea, I feel for you. It's not an easy decision, but you're so welcome. And listen, I say what I say too, because I'm like, I wish that I had somebody that would talk to me candidly about relationship. And I think sometimes when, like, our friends that are closer to us, like, know too much, it can be kind of hard for them to, like, it's like when people go to therapists. It's like sometimes just nicer to have somebody that sees you more objectively in that way, or can like kind of just give it to you straight versus like being as worried about like, oh, are we still gonna be friends after this? Or if like I'm not gonna see this guy ever at a party, you know? Yeah, like, so it's like I'm not worried about you know, what he may or may not say to me if we run into each other at the cemetery in Worcester. If I go there, right? And obviously, like I say, I don't enjoy, you know, being confrontational, but I definitely don't shy away from confrontation when I feel like I'm being disrespected. So, as we know, but having that too. Let me see. If there was any. Yeah, my husband is Aries Venus. Yeah, I just got back from playing with the fur babies. I love that. Kate, oh, sorry, Kate. I don't know, Kate, are you still here too? I can see if little chat. Hello. But I am a 1-3 sacral manifesting generator, to answer your question. And I have Aquarius rising, Pisces sun, Scorpio moon, Pisces stellium, Pisces stellium, Scorpio stellium. So traditional ruler of Scorpio, Mars on my ascendant. That's where my intensity comes from. And my Mercury is on my ascendant. So it's very easy for me to just like fly off at the mouth and come to, hi Given, welcome, come to have my words readily available, which is what full circle to what I wanted to say. And if anyone wants to book a reading, 15 minutes, $15, 10 minutes, link is in my bio. If no one's after you, like Chelsea, I'm happy to use the example, because usually if one person's going through something, more than one person in my chat is. But for Anna, I wanted to circle back. If there's any other questions you guys have, you could drop them in the chat. But to circle back to beautiful Anna and talking about like sticking up for yourself in business. I have a defined throat in human design. So I do get a lot of beautiful people like Anna who are amazing at their craft, amazing projectors who are very talented. But it can be really hard when you have moments like this, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, like if somebody, and especially being a Libra, like if you have somebody in the chat that's like rude or, you know, tries to be offensive, or just like, it's not clicking because they're not taking the time to understand like what is happening in the room, like not reading the room. Hi, Charlotte. It can be hard, you know, as a Libra, like it literally just ignore it. You know, for somebody like myself, it's like, I don't have a problem with telling people how they have to act in my room. But I think that especially for sticking up for yourself in some capacity as a Libra, as an undefined throat person in human design, it's like having your phrases that are kind of like your go-to, because even though there's a lot of nuance of conversation, people are very predictable in a lot of ways. And like when you realize that there's only like a handful of like rejections that people get in, say, like an astrology reading, or things that people will say to you if you're in the spiritual space or whatever, it's like, okay, what are the generalizations people make? What do I notice in my history of people that have ever tried to kind of be my my final boss in the video game? What are those kinds of conversations or things that they usually say to me? Hi, Krista. And how can I write down my kind of one-liners or specific terms that I have to be able to communicate that and stand up for myself? So, you know, figuring out like what that looks like in real time can be helpful. What that kind of writing that down and repeating it to yourself and kind of having it as your go-to. I think most undefined throat women that I know have very light and like flowery voices in some way. And so when that happens, it can also give people the interpretation that you're softer than you are. Like, it's funny because if people see my Energy of the Day videos, like I come in with like my Pisces, because it's like a general audience. I'm like meeting new people every day in that way. Oh, perfect. Yes, I just saw it come through. Meeting new people in that way. Oh, Scorpio. I love that, Charlotte. But, oh, let me make sure. Hold on. Pause. Okay, we're using, okay. I was like, what? Let me make sure I know the chart that we're using. Let me go here. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I forget what I was saying, but I want to pivot over to Gabe now anyway. Let me see, because a lot of first house restructuring. Yeah, okay, so let me see. So what timestamp are we at? 54, 37. What are your big three, Kate? What is your human design? Let's see. Okay. So lots of first house restructuring, refining, and rebirth. What intuitively stands out? So just kind of thinking about, I mean, even with just like first house restructuring and like kind of figuring out like how you want to be seen, I think the first thing that comes to mind is understanding like what are your personal needs and then what are your professional needs, and knowing that both are going to be different, right? So when you have a personal need for where you want people to nurture you, you're a Cancer rising, you want to be nurtured, you need to make sure that as a one water sign energy to another, you're pouring out from your overflow. How can you make sure that you have clean, clear, fresh waters, that you're getting nurtured from Z, from the fur babies, whatever that looks like personal relationships, and making sure that like you're pouring into, so yeah, no problem, the right places in that way. I think because of how much you've been through, and like just to validate the fifth line experience, what I noticed generally speaking in a lot of my 5 lines that are even the ones that are like, you know, like energetically you already hold the frequency of having a lot of like the recognition and attention and celebrity type energy, right? You're a luminary rising, so people are going to notice you. And I think what can happen is that with clients, there can be a fear of like what is almost like fearing the worst before you let the best kind of happen in that way. And so it's like really kind of like not letting those fears get the best of you. I think that there's ways that you can look at like really understanding like in a session, and if you want to evolve to like actually meeting with people face to face, and maybe you have been like, I know you do anyway, but like maybe more people that are like not just the safe people, maybe you start going outside of like friends and family and people who are paying you for your services and start to branch out to like referrals, or like being able to get more people that are outside of your circle immediately, and knowing that there's still safe people in those spaces too. Also remembering that like when you start to grow, exactly, burp of affirmation, excuse me, when you start to grow in your business, like not every client has to be like, you want to make sure you're obviously showing up and doing your best for every single client as if it was your last reading here on earth, right? I certainly try to do that. But sometimes like the best readers, like for myself, how I see as a reader and being a mutable person, you having a mutable sun and also a Cancer rising, is that automatically people are going to want you to nurture them in some capacity. So you holding space for people is important. Like we kind of become like, how do I word it? Almost like I think of like a beautiful tide pool as a Cancer rising. Like you're the tide pool that people are reflecting themselves in, and you're helping kind of cleanse them with like fresh water to decide, like help them to decide, maybe not decide is the right word, but like how to see themselves clearly. I was just saying this in the last podcast interview that I did with Joe Longo about cleaning the cobwebs. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Hi, Orlando. I think it's a matter of like, you know, and deciding like what kind of space you really want to hold. Like, I think going back to also with your placements, like knowing that like your energy is so intense and it's so potent that like, I know that like when you're sharing, and if you are like, especially when we first met, like, you know, like, and me saying like, okay, let's not like read for other people. I'll also like, I think that the safe option is getting you the wrong kind of attention. Like, if you are, like for my lives, right? I remember you were saying like when you go on people's lives and you'll follow the people that you engage with, that's like poacher energy. And I know you, so I know that that's not what you want. It's like, but how can you as an individual grow? The number one thing that always annoys me is like, I don't want nobody DM me your content that you've created. I will see it when I see it, right? I know the right idea is there, but it tells me automatically that somebody has an insecurity in their content not being the best that it should be. your content should be good enough where you don't have to DM it to other people to be good. And if it's not, you have to objectively look and say, like, this is for the health of my business. This isn't a personal attack, but a business assessment. And that's what's hard in a spiritual practice. It's like, there's so much that of our spiritual businesses that it just is us, right? Like the work is an extension of us. But for the health of a business to thrive, where can we make sure that we're doing that the right way? Yeah, exactly. And I think, like, when you say your people-pleasing era, is it like complimenting, this is very LA too, like, is it complimenting people hoping that they will return the favor? Or like, is it like, what I feel like for Sagittarius is too, there's never a compliment that happens most times when you're growing. Hi, Tiana. When there's like more so masking the clarity. Yeah, I think like for me, it's like I pick my spots. Like there's a version of intensity that people get from me on TikTok lives. There's a different version that you've seen in like our social media for manifesting generators, just you, Abaya, and I. And then there's like different, like, so it's like, that's like a mutable sign is like, just because I transform to the vessel that's in front of me, the container that's in front of me with the community. Thank you. I just got this at a vintage thrift store yesterday. From me, GPR Shutterwork. And then don't like, yeah, and I would say, like, this is what I would also say too, because I know that like people who are on the neurodivergency spectrum, because I've done it too, I would watch how much you're sharing about your own personal experiences in a session. If you do it all, that could be something that like just alone can turn people off, because the way that you talk is so intense that people are like, I paid for you to sit here for me. Why are you talking about yourself? And like, I've seen it even now, like even if I'm sharing something, I have to remind the client about what I'm sharing in that moment, because they don't always, like they don't care. And I understand that, right? Like figuring out that, yeah, exactly. But it's in your spirit. People know, like people can feel it regardless. So it's like, it's kind of like, it's why, even in my softness, like I have like a lot of power in my energy, where it's like, I'm nice, but like, don't fuck with me. It's like, I don't really have to say that very often. But sometimes you just gotta let a bitch know. But, no, like all that aside, I would say, maybe it's finding a little bit more of a balance of that. Right? So allowing yourself to, yeah, thank you. But allowing yourself to, I just feel like even going back and maybe you listen to sessions where you're like, where did I lose them? Like, or paying attention and going back to the frequency of what did I say that was lost on them. I will say this too, that hi 369, that a lot of folks now are, yeah, I'll read, oh, Deanna, oh, you're so sweet. We'll talk about this before we leave each other. Oh, excuse me. Let me just make sure somebody may have booked right after you. Hold on. Lauren, okay, I see you, Lauren. Lauren is, I'll pivot up to bring up Lauren's chart as we're finishing here, Orion. But I would go back and listen to where, oh wait, gate 13. Hi, Gord. Oh, hi, yay, okay, I love that. I'm so excited to look at your chart. Gate 13, yeah, like listening more in a session than you talk, maybe, although it's hard. Like, I think reading the room and reading someone's chart for saying, like, I know that this is somebody, like, I have some people that have undefined throats and they want me to listen to them and need a space to be, like, heard, and I say, one sentence every 15 minutes, but in some sessions, I'm also the person who's doing, with an undefined throat, most of the talking. So I never know, like, in those sessions, I can kind of intuit, but it's also like, what are the themes of the day? Yeah, and I think, like, not taking it personally, like, and maybe that's one of your disclaimers that you put, where it's like, this is just what I'm sharing with you, and like, you have to understand that, like, when I leave the session, even though like we've exposed a lot, I promise you, I'm not obsessing about what I told you did or didn't work for you. I promise you that, like, I had somebody that had like a Leo rising, our Taurus sun, Leo rising, that did mentorship with me. And I had a suspicion that, like, there were ulterior reasons for doing mentorship with me other than just, like, getting constructive criticism about what wasn't working. But, like, in the session, one of the things that she had said to me, and Lauren, I'll give you your 10 minutes. I just want to wrap up this thought. She was like, talking about how she was at an event and, she didn't like the way that the person was presenting themselves and was like, I know more than them, but like, why are they on stage? And her mom, she was like, yeah. And then I went home and I told my mom, and my mom was like, well, of course you're better. And the look that she gave me was one of like, you agree with my mom, right, Brenna? And I'm like, I don't want to be 30 and being concerned about my mom telling me that I'm good. I want to use any time that in that moment, like you clearly felt like jealousy or you knew that you wanted what that person had, and you turn that into, not let me go complain to my mom, but let me say like, I want to do better, and also be able to go up on stage and use that as energy. So noticing like how you can have that in a session, and you know, people who want to hear that versus people who don't. Now in mentorship, we're gonna go there. In a 1 hour reading with somebody, there's people like that where like, I'll let you have that for 5 minutes, and then like you understand, like, I know that this person, because like I let him have it, but I also let him know I'm not that cool with that. Like, fuck them, like they're probably not gonna book with me again. I'm so glad. So like that also, and I think especially for your question too, talking about your business, Lauren, as well, like it's picking and choosing your battles for like, you don't have to convert every person in a 1 hour reading to see your side or to change, you know, however old they are, 28 to 32 years or 40 years of repeated behaviors. It's not your responsibility to totally change that in a session. Most sessions, even if you give somebody, no matter how much you charge in 1 hour, one line that has changed the entire way that they see the world, that can be more than enough. So just remembering that, like, it's not like, I think we can hold the weight of like wanting to heal everyone, and we can take pride in that as people that have spiritual businesses, in wanting to make such a heavy impact. And that's a really quick way. I've learned that the hard way this year, or through my Saturn return, really, to not feel so responsible for the person sitting in front of me. I want the best for you, but sometimes those people don't even want the best for themselves. They just want me to tell them how great they are for an hour. And, you know, I can indulge them a little bit, but I also am not interested in being a groupie for somebody that booked a reading with me. And thankfully now it's like when you tell the universe that over and over again, like, it's just like, I'm okay with like not going back there. So I'll pause that for now, to pivot over to beautiful Lauren here. Let me make sure. And Lauren, in response to you got an email from Calendly that confirmed your booking. You're welcome, Orion. I'm excited for you. That confirmed your booking. In response to that, I'll send you my generic email copy with a link to this recording, and you'll get the timestamp as well, so you can watch this back again and again. We are at 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 20 seconds here, and then we'll keep chatting after that. So yeah, I'm happy to help. I know it well. Business has been a big theme for everyone this year too. So, okay, so you are so many open centers. So I'm assuming love life. If you put live life, but love life is, thank you so much. Love life and how my business is changing. So I love that you are in like nodal return area. So our south node is in Pisces, thank you. And our north node is in Pisces, our south node is in Virgo, yours is flip-flopped. I promise you that as somebody who's also looking at her Saturn return in the not so distant future, that the more that you get your shit in order now, the easier your Saturn return is. You can feel a little bit more like, it's still heavy, you know, like there's definitely things that have felt super emotional for me this year, but like what you don't run from, it's like what you resist persists, right? That's a quote for a reason. And so when we don't solve certain things, when we can see them coming and we're just kind of like, oh, like it's so like, let it just figure itself out. It can be really challenging. And listen, Sagittarius Mars, like you want to have fun. It's like, we want to be cute. We want to be sexy, which obviously you are, but it's like having that be like, because you're confronting the things head on. And I think like also from 113 to another, and you being a projector where you're so open, you only have 2 energy centers defined. It's like really not underestimating how much alone time you actually need, and being able to have space in that way, like a little bit of like, just like less people time is more, like really treating, especially because I'd be curious, like, do you lose your voice whenever you're really upset? Because your gate 46, your Mercury placement is all about the physical body. Like, I'd be curious if there's like, whenever you burn yourself out too much, if there's like one specific illness that like pops up, or like any kind of like chronic pain again and again. Could be Crohn's, could be throat, could be because it's your Mercury, so it can manifest as that too. Migraines, yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I mean, I'm not so glad that you said that. I'm sorry, because that's so frustrating. But there is a tip that also comes from Buddhism, and I know, like, I don't know how how deep you are, because Orion gets migraines too, like where you're at in getting migraines, but usually what happens, especially for beautiful Libra placements like you, is that rumination or the migraines are from your forward thinking brain, and you don't have, like, when I show you your human design body graph and what we're looking at, and you'll see it side by side. So in the recording, this is what my back end looks like, so you can see, you're gonna see this, so you'll see me and your body graph, but just to show you now, you're all open. So whenever I say, yeah, pivot, think about pushing your brain, like you're thinking from your midbrain instead of the forefront of your mind. Excuse me, it helps so much, especially right now I'm in my luteal phase, PMS territory, so I tend to get a lot more like migraines or headaches during this time. And when I think about pushing my thoughts and starting to think from the middle of my brain, it creates this energy of, like, it feels like my brain stem and my brain just settles in my skull. I love that. Okay, perfect. So A+, just another affirmation about that. But essentially, when we look at, like, your mind, right, if this is you sitting like crisscross applesauce on the ground, all of these chakras or energy centers, as we call them in human design, are all open. So it's like you don't have an initial buffer from other people's thoughts. I feel like you probably wake up exhausted because you're doing work on the other side too. What I love too is that for your root chakra, though, being defined in your emotional center, which is what makes you an emotional projector, no one's gonna make you move unless you truly want to move. Like, people may think that you are, and that's like so Libra, right? Like, I'll appease you, but like, it's like Paris Hilton in her book, I think Life of an Heiress. She was, you just tell people what they want to hear and then do what you want to do anyway. Very Aquarius of her, but also very Libra. It's like, I know what you want from me, but I know that I'm not going to do that. Especially because your Jupiter is conjunct my ascendant in Aquarius. So it's like a lot of like luck energy, which I really like. And so, yeah, even my sun conjunct your south node is like teaching you karmic lessons. But like, it could be bad. If we were dating, I'd be like, let's not play that out in real life. But like, allowing yourself to say like, hey, I'm going to help you outsmart this. So this is a lesson that you don't have to learn. Because as a Pisces, I feel like 85 years old, times 10. But it's interesting because I wonder, like, I think of like, what's your main bread and butter now? Like, what would you say is like the way that you get paid most in business? Is it one-on-one sessions, or is it like social media? Because there's two ways. Like, I always say, like, when you're kind of deciding what vein you want to go in, especially as a projector, just a good like spiritual business litmus test to say, do I want the platforms to pay me, or do I want people to pay me like outside of the platform? So like, my business is structured where, like, obviously I'm doing lives here, but my real bread and butter is not from TikTok live. Like, I could get into the ecosystem of setting up a gift store and having people pay me for readings that way, but I prefer to do it the other way, because my business started in person and then I transitioned onto TikTok. But that's why, like, I don't depend on this platform only to be my sole source of income. Not that it's a bad thing to do that or to pivot to social media, but like, do you want to go like the Wizard Liz route, or like a different avenues that's all paying like one-on-ones? Okay, I love that. But so more so like not the social media aspect. I mean, with a brand deal it could be. So I'm trying to think of when you say with your business is changing, is it that you like, what do you want to do more of? Like, do you find that you want more one-on-one sessions? Are you feeling like you're burning out in that way? Is there an opportunity? Because 1/3s, we're teachers. Like, we do really well when we're like teaching people something. Like, a big word that I always go to as a Scorpio stellium is like teaching people strategy. So especially in like mentorship or one-on-ones, I'm like going back to that kind of word. Yeah, I love that. And honestly, it's how we build as 1/3s like more long-term relationships. So like, when you're doing a one-on-one with somebody, allowing yourself to kind of ground in like, how are you nurturing it? Yeah, consulting business, I love that. Yes. Because I do corporate consulting. I just signed a new client on Monday. That's actually a boudoir photography business that's based out west. I'm on the East Coast, so Yeah, and I'd say like what is the most everyone likes somebody who's doing the thing that's the most fun for them. So like for us like as 1/3s like I love and as a projector, I would love for you to be like the intellectual property behind the business and really looking at like how you could kind of do like a life design audit or business design audit for people. Like what is it that like you go in and you can kind of say like even if I don't know what your business is, I know for a fact that this is what's working and this is what doesn't work. So that can also be an opportunity for you to look at it that way, especially because your Scorpio Venus is in gate 14. It's all about like reminding people what you do for them and like what the impact is of what you're doing. So like it could also just be an opportunity for you to kind of pivot over that way. In the last couple minutes that I have you, 2 vocabulary words I wanted to have you reflect on. You can answer in the comments below, but also as like a longer term rhetorical question is what opportunities leave you walking away with like, I'm tired, but I feel successful in that one-on-one or in that business consulting, versus what left me with a bad taste in my mouth or like I wasn't recognized for how much I did for this person or what I offered them. So, a big thing to know that you're in your not self theme or going against your design is looking at bitterness and saying like, oh, like I don't like how that person made me feel. That'll be helpful. And your Uranus is also in Aquarius, which I like for you too, because it's kind of like how can you continuously remind people of what you're doing differently or how you're kind of like shaking things up in the best way. Yeah, because it feels like, again, Pluto conjunct your Mars. It's like, I love that because like luck is on your side in that way for sure. But also like when you make like a bad business decision, it can just probably, and there may have been something that you're just like, oh, that was like the wrong move and like that fucking sucks. But like, how can you see it as a learning experience and being like, this is how I'm moving forward in this way? Because you bring a lot to the table. I think like gate 48 can always be the sphere of like self-worth being tied to how productive we can be. And for you, it's like you're inherent, and that's, I'm sure, especially as with your username, it's like, that you're inherently worthy, but like other people don't remember that they're inherently worthy. So it's like, you could be the person that like, it's easy for them to take it out on in those ways too. So just like reminding themselves, especially in business, like this is the contract, we have like, women in business, especially like in spiritual spaces, it's like constantly referring back to that kind of thing too. I also wonder if it's like maybe would be helpful for you if you don't have somebody already to not have somebody that's like a full-blown manager for you, because I don't think that you would need that per se, but maybe investing in somebody if you don't have somebody at this moment that can help you to like up level. Oh, I love that. An opportunity. Okay, good. I feel like because there could be an opportunity for them to, hi Gabrielle, excuse me. There can be an opportunity for them to up level. Like I would almost look at like what Eliza Kelly, or Elisa Kelly, she's the astrologer. She read like Bella Hadid, those types. Thank you, Orion. Bella Hadid, who else did she? Oh, Rachel Dratch, who has the Woo Woo podcast now. I think Amy Poehler, like that kind of circuit. Are you in LA, or are you like a New York girl, or are you still in your city of origin? You could be both. You could be all three. But like, where's like your primary place, because that can be helpful too. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It feels very like you give like very LA energy, because like you could be very, it's like you're like PR trained without even having to be PR trained. It's like just the way that you operate. It's almost like the vibe that I get is like also craving a little bit more personal depth, like something that I would also, what's your rising sign? You're a Libra rising as well, if you don't mind me asking. Oh my God. Okay. Yes. I love that. Okay. Spend a lot of time. Yeah, I wonder, because it's also, you're also in a city, so. Oh, Miami. Okay. I have a couple clients that are down there too. But okay. So your Venus in Scorpio, almost your Venus in Scorpio too, like being your chart ruler, I would look at and consider consulting. Trevor Ballin is the name of the guy that's the tarot card reader, but he also works at Celine. if I'm not mistaken. And there was like a photo that went around this time of year that he was like, did tarot cards for like the creative director of Celine. And then he also had a Dan Levy from Schitt's Creek, and like he read for him. So like almost thinking about how you can do maybe like private spiritual mentorship. Yeah, there you go. Like private spiritual mentorship for people that are in like higher positions of power. I think that and I've also been thinking of this myself, and it in a couple ways have done it, but in a like kind of going after a different market of if people in positions of power want to stay there, they need to have spiritual people on their side, like more than just PR. Because the PR people that have no spiritual attunement whatsoever are fucking their clients too. Probably more way than one. I used to be in arts and music management before I went to human design and astrology, psychic mediumship full time. So I think that there is a huge opportunity for that. And I'm an East Coast girlie as well. I was born and raised in New Jersey, live in PA as well, other side of PA, but work in New York as well, and worked in New York as well. But I'll go back and forth, like Philly and New York are my closest. But I think that there's a huge, like figuring out how to tap into that and what that means to you. Yeah, and I think, hi Ben, I think like, you know, you can see the history of the success. Like you have a whole team. So like, how can you turn certain things on autopilot and trust people? Like even I would ask yourself, especially as somebody who's like, you know, we are like the heart of our business, right? So like we kind of just need people to execute rather than to fully take over. How can you honestly be a better delegator? And then like really just have almost like one of the things that I do for businesses when I do business consulting is I'll write SOPs for them. So standard operating procedures, because I have my own as well, where it's like, if this happens, then this is what we do. You know, every Sunday, my energy of the weeks go out on YouTube. And after that happens, I share it to Instagram. You know, a bot could do that if I programmed it to, right? But it's like, how can you create kind of like rinse and repeat stuff that's like be so specific about every bullet point thing that needs to happen, so that like even people who like are operating at 50% capacity could do it without error. Or like if the error is like very marginal, like they forgot that, you know, Instagram updated to only using 5 hashtags instead of being able to use a whole paragraph now. So I would look at kind of your business, especially up until your Saturn return, to see like what are your biggest areas of bitterness even with your team, and how to make it smaller. I think too, like when we're hiring and firing in businesses as well, especially for the type of work that we do, it's really important to like keep the spiritual health of the people around you to like make it make sense. And also noticing, especially with your type of energy. Yeah, girl. Yes. Well, because people want to be you. They don't want to work for you. They want to work with you so that they can become you. And that's like not you. I would say like even hiring people overseas, or I have the same problem. Like it's been the same thing for me as well. Like I don't want any, but literally like there's a lot of people that are attracted to working with you. The big thing is like they want to become my friend, because it's like not even conscious for most of these people. Like it's just like a sleeper cell is the best way I could describe it, where it's like they just don't even know what they want. They just see the like you living in such literally magnetic like divine alignment that they don't know. They just know that looks good. Lauren looks good. Lauren knows what she's doing. Let me just copy that. Instead of us looking and saying, okay, if you look at your astrology, if you look at your human design, you are an individual that like has a specific filing system. So you don't even realize that you don't even want what I do. You just want the recognition that it gives you, or it gives me, and then they want it. So it's like figuring that out. I think like if you had somebody that, like I know a creator on here that actually lives close to me. She has like 500,000 followers on TikTok, and she has somebody from India that edits her videos. It's like, they're just like, they are employed to edit the videos to help her write her scripts for social media and do it that way, and that works for her. And like it's not somebody that's like another young 20 something from LA that like wants to also like make it. And it's kind of like, yeah, I would say that it's like writing down your standard operating procedures, your SOPs, and then saying like, here, you know, like you just like, this is what, there's nothing in between these lines. This is black and white paper. It's black and white bullet points. You do these things in order. This should take you, because I've done it myself, this should take you about 30 minutes. Like this is what we're doing to like pay for the project. So Also, as a gate or having a 1-3 profile, anytime you're 3-5, 1-3, our bonding strategy is bonds made and broken. So we're not meant to have the same people around us all the time, especially in business. Like I'm not like meant to have the same, I edit my own videos, but I don't want to have the same video editor forever because we're also changing. Like we're also morphing into different things. So I'd be curious, like maybe there's also people that you kind of outgrown, you know, or that like don't, like they're not like less is more with the people around you. And I think if you have a couple people that do things, hi Morgan, really well, you don't need as many people as you think that you do in that sense. And I think that you want higher paying clients for longer periods of time than trying to get a bunch of people. Like your follower content on here is for social proof for people that are like, oh, other people want her, but only I have her full time. Or as like my spiritual, you know, I call this Human Design Hotline. It's like my spiritual hotline, like my life coach or whatever, you know, the nomenclature that fits best for you for like that kind of circuit. And remembering like making sure that it's people that actually value what you have. I think also when you're working in LA or New York and you're young and beautiful, like making sure that you don't end up with like some guy that just wants like a beautiful girl around as a spiritual person, you know, like those kinds of things. And I'm sure you've had lessons like that already or things like that that have happened, but like really having a specific, even an SOP for like how I interview people. I would look at like, you know, my kind of like intel and like how I am as like a, yeah, I love that. And you're a gate of values, your Libra moon is the gate of values. So, or Libra, your Libra Scorpio cusp. So I actually don't know if you're a late degree Libra or early degree Scorpio for your moon. I'm a Scorpio moon. Or Libra would make sense because you were saying Libra for everything. I answer my own question. But yeah, I would like look at like doing a reconnaissance mission, like go to like Goop's website and who is following from what you can see. I know there's going to be a ton of people, but like who is following Goop? Like take the time to like get the handles for the people that are liking Goop. I think that there's a lot of people who you attract, and like I know more of those people because they're not on social media. I met them in galleries in New York City, you know, and also like kind of knowing where to go. In those types of networking places too. So maybe some trips are in order, and that's what I'm picking up on. Brand trips, or anytime you go on a kind of brand trip, like I think of like another creator, she's Muslim, so I don't know like what like spirituality versus like religious beliefs, but like Sonia said, she has good energy, like she's like LA, but she's like a normal like person that like has a goal, but she's like a really driven woman. Those types of like just kind of like doing some discernment. I just got chills on the left side of my leg. But those kinds of energies too, like who are people that are in the space enough, they're driven enough where it's like they need more support of genuine people around them. And you'd be shocked at how like few and far between, I'm sure you're not shocked, but like you'd be shocked at how few and far between it is for people to come by that energy. And like people that don't have like ulterior motives, you know, like it's like that, because the people that you're also marketing yourself towards in that area are also people who have been in the exact same position of like people wanting to be you. And I think like there's nothing wrong with even writing that down. I don't want to be you, I want to sit with you and we organize this shit together, right? And I think that there's so much like levity and like the like saying what's unspoken that like we know is kind of like this weird societal undercurrent, but like just like let's lay it all out, you know. That's really, I mean, Pluto and Aquarius, like that's really what this is about. So I'm excited for you. Congratulations, I'll say it already. But you got like nervous system regulation. It's like you just make sure you say your mantras, you do your spiritual stuff, you know, you do whatever you do, spiritual hygiene to keep yourself in check in that way. And thank you for letting me go over with you so that I could it was a good conversation for our wider audience as well. And I wanted to go back to, thank you Desvi, thank you, sorry. Deanna here too. I feel like there was something else that oh, when my boundaries are up, I want to be more like you, but seriously, yeah, I would say like, where do you feel, I think I know, because we kind of talked about it, Deanna, but like, women who, it's such a shame because like, it's almost like we kind of all, Divinely Magnetic Deanna, Anna, Orion, all of us have had like an experience with this like weird, like hive mind version of that, where it's like, destiny swappy. Hi Yoni, if that makes sense. But it's like it's like a sleeper energy of like not knowing that they're even trying to destiny swap, because they're just so fundamentally unaware of like understanding. And it's funny because one of the books that I've been reading is Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents, which tells you a lot about my personal life. But all that to say that like within that, right, there's a whole section that I haven't gotten to, but I jumped ahead to go back again because that's who I am as a person. And it's like how to identify like emotionally mature people in the wild, and like what does that look like. And because I've been thinking a lot about like just, you know, like how we attract like, you know, the repeat offenders and things like that. Yes, exactly. 85 books and jumping ahead and skimming. So much more freedom in that. I don't like how I consider others to my detriment. Yeah. I think it's like, it's so especially as a projector, and like I just noticed this too, it's like so hard. I literally wrote down today, I feel burnt out from doing everything right, because that really hit. When you're somebody who cares about your own well-being and not being a piece of shit, that is exhausting. Like, I feel burnt out from doing everything right, because we can do everything right, and because we're not giving emotionally immature people our full attention, it will never be enough for them. And that shit drains our spirit. Like, that is like, it's disheartening, it's upsetting, it's disappointing, right? It's like, damn, because I know you see, and I also like, I mean, I'm sure there's like, I know that there's like neurodivergent overlap there too, even just in human design. But like when you, there's were a couple of viral videos this winter of people going around. I think I have 2 spots left in case anyone wants to snag any before the night is through, just to say that before I continue, and then after I'll do my admin work to email you guys. But basically, like, when you operate on like cutie patootie energy, you know, you don't think about like, how am I going out to get other people? And you know, that is like there's a blend of, and I see that like people don't believe that, like, because I have so much like heavy Scorpio strategy at the top of my chart, people always look at me as if there's something against them that I'm strategizing, but I'm a Pisces, right? So it's like having that blend of like, I still love my fellow man at the end of the day, and but also, you know, have a right to protect myself too, because unfortunately I've been burned by a lot of people who have betrayed me or betrayed my kindness out of either them knowing it or not knowing it. And so, yeah, exactly. And so it's like, how do we understand that, right? And how do we kind of see, like, the best thing I can say with any new habit, and this includes setting boundaries. Anna, actually, Deanna, if you don't follow Anna on Instagram, you should, because Anna just posted a really good reel about like basically like a how-to like set a boundary, which I think you'll appreciate, because you have similar energies in that way. And for me, it's like when I was focused on the checklist of the things that like I needed to get done to do good at my job and to deliver on my promises that I could keep. And you're welcome. Yes. And to operate from that place, it just leaves less room for people to take advantage of me, you know, or try to at least, or to waste my time. It's like I always say, oh, that's so sweet. Wait, I don't know why I blocked it. Thank you, Yoni. Wait. It got filtered. Oh, there we go. Thank you. That's so cool. I love that it gives you a little like badge. That's so sweet. Yeah, the destiny swap, Yoni. Oh my god, it's so real. Yeah, if you guys go even on my Instagram and you go to my following, if you have a hard time finding Anna for whatever reason, type in like, go to my Instagram, go to my following and type that in, and you'll see her handle. But it should come up. I don't think it should give you a problem. But yeah, I think that, you know, people are so starved for authentic, real connection that a lot of times, like, especially because my rising sign is gate 19. You're welcome, Deanna. Which is the gate of wanting, So automatically there's and you guys see it happen, right? Those of you who've been with me for a while, you'll see it. You probably felt it with me or feel it with me still in some capacity, like an unspoken recognition and me seeing what you need, you seeing that I can solve that need, but like there has to be a good reciprocal exchange. And some people like that, some people don't like that, some people are, it's like we're kind of like the first, oh I love that, the first drink of clean water that people get for folks like us. Yay, Josh. For those who have been living in a drought for so long. And I can feel empathetic or sympathetic. I always get that mixed up. I can feel for those people that they haven't had those experiences. But I also know that like if somebody's mom didn't give them the love or attention that they were supposed to get, there's nothing that I can say. You can never give somebody enough attention or love or friendship if they haven't rectified that part of their longing. And what happens, and that's like a huge conversation I've been having with people, like that's what grief is. And that's like a very specific way that we can explain grief in society, because we don't talk about grief. We associate grief with somebody who's died, and that's just it, right? It's true. Like it's just that's just what it is. But grief is also people learning to live with a person that's living, like their mom or their dad, that couldn't provide a foundational biological human need that has now manifested for somebody else into something other than just like my mom didn't pick me up when I cried as a kid, right? Like that manifests into bigger things in other ways as we get older and, are more complex humans that like we all are responsible for doing our own self-discovery. And I think what gets a little complicated and what we're all learning in this era of spirituality and connecting online and being spiritual through online portals is that we're figuring out how to, as spiritual practitioners, be a part of that healing journey for somebody, but also not taking on the need of that person's to fulfill the hole that their mom left. We can fill a part of that, right? But it's like we are pouring this much water into the bottle and it's that person's responsibility to fill the whole water bottle. But I can't dump all of my water bottle into their water bottle. They walk away feeling great and I'm like, okay, cool. Like you're welcome for solving your problem, but you have no true concept of the emotional, mental, spiritual labor that went into filling that bottle. Sometimes even this much, right? So I think like even for thinking about the conversations that I had, for you, Orion, and for all of the readings tonight, and Anna as well, like kind of kicking us off with that conversation, it's about understanding that like we can feel and see where that person's wounding is. But I love a good like mix up of words and something that's always like so heavy. But we can see where that wound is, where that puss is on their face, so to speak. But it's not, and we feel the weight of it. I think especially as incredibly intuitive people, incredibly spiritual people, my projectors, like you can feel the heaviness so deeply that you also have to remember like, wow, this is how this feels like 20 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag for this person. But just because I feel that intensity, I'm only responsible for sharing with them how to hand that bag back to them, maybe with a better storage container, but I am handing it back to them. And so knowing that like that, and I think like there's always, as good spiritual practitioners and just people who care, it's not as easy, and I struggle with that when somebody comes with me with something particularly intense or challenging, but that's where like going back to the basics of business, getting things in writing, managing expectations of just because I cannot, undo 40, 50 years of your experience in a 1-hour session. And I think that there's a lot of people that the internet kind of contorts the weight of that responsibility, or like when they see capable people, being a capable person myself, it's like I didn't become capable because like I went without my struggles. I became capable because I do, or because I have had my fair share of struggles, right? So it's like I can help people alchemize, but like your problems are not always my responsibility in a session in that way, right? Like we're solving some things, but I think that's where people don't know how to, like when there's a time for therapy, when you have your human design and astrologer, that you meet with, your human design reader, your astrologer, it takes many people to work out exactly what your methodology is. And I think, like, you know, even getting let me be one of the 3 human design readers you get a reading with. Like, everyone reads in a different way, and it's all part of like this pursuit of understanding the layers of yourself, and that not everything is a one-off trade-off. Yeah, and I think the instant gratification is also something that has come up a lot, and I think we're going to see a big push with people having it, because I was saying yesterday that one of my friends is a college counselor, an academic advisor out on Long Island. We went to university together, to college together. I don't know if I said that part first, but he was saying how, like, there's a lot of kids that are like, it's like they want the instant gratification, and with technology and us all being the guinea pig generation, he works with like primarily like Gen Zers, and how you know, they're focused on what their classes are for next semester, but they just failed 2 midterms, was his exact like vocabulary. And he's like, well, we can't be worried about next semester because there may not be a next semester for you if you don't figure this out now. And so with technology, it's like it has trained us to say, like, we're so used to getting our answers to our problems right now. And Anna said this to me, which is a really good reflection of this, when her and I were talking, like a year ago it was, Anna, like this time last year, about like, you know, you're ChatGPTing a human being and expecting like whatever my answer is, I'm going to answer you, and you're treating me like how we Google something, and then we say, we Google it, and then we walk away from our phone, and 5 minutes later we forget it. And people treat spiritual practitioners in their DMs the same exact way. That's why my DMs and people who treat me that way, you go in the comment section, because that is mutual reciprocity. I get a comment, I get engagement, you get a tip, but you also show me respect, and that you're not going to pay for, that's now reciprocal labor. There's an exchange of energy. But my DMs are reserved for scheduling issues. You know, if we talk about like some sweet thing that we both shared and whatever, like someone responds to my DM, but there's like, you know, everything has its cost, even when it's free. And it's okay to remind people of that too, and stand by those boundaries as well. So, coming from a Pisces. But I say that because, like, for all of you guys, it's like, for Josh, you're talking about making money in his business, and Deanna, and for all of you guys, like, I carry, you know, these are things that actually work, right? And it's like, it sounds so harsh to say it outside of what, like, the actual event of me answering someone in my comments, like when you guys drop your rising sign, is a lot less harsh. You know, it feels good because, like, there's actual reciprocity there. But it's like, you know, like, I don't answer if someone drops a screenshot of their chart in the comments. I'm like, that is like no, like, I'm not, like, that's like so tone deaf. You know, somebody who's new, you know, I'm 32, I'll be 32. You know, I've done my free thing. You didn't catch me at that time, but like, you can do that for somebody who's practicing. But like, I'm 10 years down this road right now. Don't get mad at me because you didn't find me 10 years ago. You found me now. Too bad, so sad. Right? So it's like, but there is a time and a place for also the people or kids that are starting off in astrology. Let them practice on you. It doesn't mean the information is bad just because they're new, or, you know, they need to refer to more resources or whatever. So, exactly. Different contagious, different depths, and different access. I love that. I'm going to pause for the moment to pivot over to the beautiful and bold Josh here. The bold and beautiful. That's so funny because isn't that a, I don't know if that was a psychic tune tap-in, but isn't that a, what do they call it? Daytime soap opera? Let me look at the time here. 1:42, 46. What should I do to initialize a new business, keep my energy, and get the invitation from my customers? So let me open Patreon really quick, because I know that we were talking about software, and that within this software it also was something to do with, like, which my ears perked. Soap opera, thank you. My ears perked up because I've used, I think, yeah, I think so. It probably is. They've been out for like 85 years. Hold on. Let me pause for a moment. Josh. Go to post. Okay, software, apps, and language learning. I love that. So automatically, right, like the first thing that you're always going to want to do is like competitor analysis, right, which I'm sure you've done in some capacity. But when we're talking about like a language learning app, for example. And like I use, hi Chelsea, I used Preply. So it's, and I want you to write this down, or you can, obviously listen back, but it's Preply. Hello. That is the language learning app that I used for a Spanish, like learning Spanish. So that is one of the ones. Obviously Duolingo, and then I'm sure there's others, but like those are the two competitors that like I can think of off the top of your head. Then I would look at, like, for both of them, you want to figure out where you're a disruptor in the market, right? So Duolingo's snafu, which they had a great social media presence. We all saw that bright green owl, and like they had really funny content, and then obviously that person left, but they also replaced a lot of people with AI technology. Yeah, I love that. And so you get to decide, like, for you, like, what is your flavor? Now, I will say that as a projector that's starting out in business, in the way that we do business in a capitalist society right now, is that you're going to be a little tired. I obviously get your sleep. I would not be afraid. Working at your laptop from bed is just as effective as working in your laptop at your desk, right? If you take a nap when you need to, you can drink I do an espresso sometimes, and then I lay down for 20 minutes. After I eat, I tend to get really sleepy. It doesn't matter what I eat. I'm a Pisces. I always sleep. So I'm a napper. Like, I'll take a nap in the afternoon most days. So that also very healthy for helping. Oh, I love this, Chelsea. Helping productivity. So don't be afraid to do that. And then this also ties into what I'm saying for the training that'll be out on the 11th for you guys. But making sure that the bones are good and that what your app is solving for is a real problem, right? So like, I'll use myself as an example. If I were to create a human design app, the biggest struggle that human design has is that it's not palatable to the beginner. It's very PhD level in its traditional languaging. Like, if I, like, gate 54, it's like the gate of marrying maiden. What the fuck does that mean? What is a marrying maiden? What does that mean? That means now I have to research what it means, right? If I say gate of drive, it's like, okay, that makes more sense. Like, I understand that better. So it's, hi Clara, it's figuring out like what is the actual need of, like, why aren't more people using a language learning app, and what's the biggest hump, what's the biggest struggle to get people to do that. Because it's an app, I would invest in looking at running online ads, going into the people that actually comment on or follow the actual pages like Duolingo or Preply or all your competitors, and really looking at what they have to offer. I think that YouTube would also be a huge portal for doing that too, or understanding that. I think that it would be a great place for you to drop tutorials to show people how to use it. Like that's like something where, if you want to talk about what I talked about with Lauren, Divinely Magnetic, you can look at like Upwork or Fiverr and hire somebody. You can write the whole outline for something like that. Use and pay. Most Duolingo users are free riders, I think. Okay, yeah, yes, exactly. Preply, well, because, so this is the thing. This is what Preply did, which is to think about the algorithm. So the reason I did Preply is because my husband is Cuban Spanish and a Caribbean dialect. My Dominicans in the chat know. And I'm gonna bother you. My Spanish speakers know that Caribbean Spanish and like Mexican Spanish and Spaniard Spanish are like three very different things. It's like when we hear somebody from New York trying to talk to somebody who's from like the deep south, they may be speaking different variations of English. Scottish English to American English, I don't know what half the people, my Irish family, I am like, Anthony, you need to slow down. I have no idea what you're saying to me right now. It was like, we needed a translator. What they did was they hired people from Cuba, from, I'll just say from Cuba for simplicity's sake, because the dollar conversion for, like, I pay $11 an hour for Spanish lessons, for one-on-one Spanish lessons through Preply. The conversion for somebody who's getting $11 American dollars in Cuba, that $11 goes so much farther. So if you get somebody that speaks the native language, who can also speak English enough, but is also in a different country, it keeps like your cost lower, which you probably know this. Hi, Jenny. You probably know this, but it goes to say, like, remembering that that's like, those are the parameters of that, right? So it's like, that is so helpful to do your market research that way. I also would look at, I like the way that, and a lot of how I learned in my early 20s about like market research is from Sunny Lenarduzzi. She has a YouTube channel. Hi, Seth, how are you? I would look at her, she's like primarily like how to grow to get paid on YouTube. I was like an admin assistant for somebody who bought her course behind the scenes. I think that her videos do enough where you don't have to pay for it. Sorry, but I don't think so for what she charges. At least if that's going to be your whole thing, you're getting a return on your investment, then fuck it. But like, you know what I mean? So also being a 3/5 and deciding, you know, in software development, do you want to be the person that's like the face of the product, or like people know who you are, or would you rather it be like an avatar? I think like as I was saying yesterday, my husband loves gaming, and one of the guys that he watches from time to time is like Tim the Tap Man, or Burnt Peanut is like the new guy that like will come up on his For You page every now and again. I'm doing a paid reading for Josh for his business. We're doing a little business consulting on being a projector and how to work on his software development. But with Clara, this is a perfect conversation for you to be a part of too. For what Clara does, like lifestyle design and branding, and also is really good at like tech startups. So even connecting Josh and Clara, Josh, I would follow Clara and also watch Clara's lives too, because I know they'll be helpful. And she does office hours, so getting another perspective as a self-projected projector in that way can also be helpful. But being a 3/5 is like, people want to follow the roller coaster of your life. So for example, you could go through the preply route where no one really knows the founder. Or you could do like, I think of Pop Call, which I love. Like I was thinking about like, what's like the non-kinky hotline for me to be able to do like paid texting with my clients. I do, it's $1 a message, or $2 a minute for a voice call, via Pop Call. I love it because I know who the founder is. Like he sends me an email from his personal email, because it's a smaller platform. And like, it's not like some hidden, how do I say it? Like not some hidden chat room type of thing. It's not like OnlyFans. I could go on there and try to make it something for human design, but Pop Call is for a much broader audience, I'll say. But I like that I know who he is, and that like he's like, okay, your earnings this month is this, like hope all is well, here you go. It's still very for professional, you know, can easily be made in some capacity. It is an automation, but that's also helpful in deciding like how high touch or visible, even if it's not actually high touch or exhausting, you want to be with your consumer. I would only chat. Yeah, there you go. What else was I going to say? Oh, let me go back to... And initializing, I feel, so one of my mentees is in the process of creating an app as well. And what she did, if you haven't again already, is she's a projector, is that she put a bunch of, I know, that's what I figured. That's why I said it too, where it's like how I felt like that was part of it. I think that what's also missing though now, and why we like real people, right? Like you guys are here because like I'm a real fucking person that has problems like everybody else, and I share them, but I'm still professional, you know, like I can see a lot, but I also am like, that's part of like my charm, but that's part of my gate 34 gate of magnetism, right? So it's like the as a consumer of apps as well, or the things that I enjoy are like where there's people still behind a platform or an application in some way. Yeah, I know, right? It's so like the overlap is, we can't get away from it. You know, for me, I see it all the time. I had to tell you about we'll talk again, Claire, when we meet next, but about the client that I onboarded on Monday, because we'll just have to catch up about that. But long story short, for you, Josh, you don't want to burn yourself out, because obviously you're not the only person who's going to be operating your business long term. But what I was saying for like SOPs, right? Standard operating procedures. My client that I'm mentoring, that's also a projector, pretty much all of my clients the last year, I think I've had like 1 out of like 10 that were not a projector. That was not a projector for the last year, which says a lot. Excuse me. But she has a whole Google Drive and a Trello dedicated to like the different aspects of the app, and if this happens, then this happens. I think like, I don't know the ins and outs of like the coding parts of it. Yes, the coding parts of it, but there's also, that's like kind of step 2. Getting the invitation for your customers is if you make a good tool and start marketing it to a need that's like actually felt, and it's like a true pain point, and you amplify the pain point and how your software solves it. If you make it, they will come. As a projector, if your shit is like, it's tight, I know what I'm getting, it's clear to me, I don't have to make it. 70% of the population is generators and manifesting generators. The other 30%, 100% of people who are dealing with apps in 2026 are like, how annoying is it when like an app doesn't work and we're like, fuck, like fuck it, I'm deleting it because I can download another one. I'm not using this as shit anymore. You know, whatever it is. It's like, that is kind of like the energy that you're up against. It's not, that doesn't inherently mean that your business won't be successful, but it's data for how to work around it, right? So simple is always best, and effective, simplistic marketing strategies are always best. It's a lot of projectors, I see themselves in marketing get mucked up when they try to over explain what they're offering. I shared this because there's this lady that is a human design reader that I ended up blocking this year because I was like, this is so annoying. And she would come in and correct me on semantics because she didn't like that. The real reason was that she didn't like that we had been on social media around the same time, and she would always go in and try to like correct the semantics of what I was saying. And I went onto her website and I was like, why is she bitter? She's a projector. I was like, why is she bitter? Like, what is happening? Because this isn't about me. Like, I know enough, but I just like, I don't want to even be associated with her. So I'm like, go away. And on her website, it was like all these long paragraphs about her story and how this happened with her family and all of this. And it took me forever to even scroll to figure out like, well, how do I even book with you? Like, okay, cool. But like, how do I make it make sense for why you, okay, now I feel like I'm going into the session and I've scrolled to book with you, and now I feel like I have to go in solving your problem, like not the other way around. So like I went here for help and now I'm more depressed, and like no wonder no one's booking with her, right? So that kind of energy. Exactly. Yeah, and that's fine. It's like that's where it's like need of the software, right? So capable of over explaining, I'm trying to get off my overthinking. I think as a projector as well, 3 to 5, research like 3 to 5 app developers, 3 to 5 teachers, right? Like limit yourself to 5 options maximum. I would encourage you to get down to 3 and then choose, because the biggest thing, and you will hear this in human design rhetoric and entrepreneurship rhetoric from Clara, from me, from anybody else that's doing any kind of business consulting, is that just trying it out and not being afraid to make a mistake and doing it at 50% research, 50% capacity is what's going to give you the real life intel that you can't smart. This is all a fucking game anyway, right? Thank you, Clara. It's all a game anyway. Like, I promise, unless like even doctors, like my friend who I was mentioning earlier that's dating the 60-year-old, like at 32, her boyfriend is an ophthalmologist. So he's an eye doctor. He does eye surgery. He's like, yeah, if 30% of my surgeries are successful, like I'm happy with that. And an unsuccessful surgery is like people going blind, like, because the eye is also like a delicate, right? But surgeons that have control over people's quality of life are saying like, I'm okay with like 30% of my surgeries going well. That's why I'm not a surgeon, because those statistics are not my forte. But that's also like in the comparing it to that, right? And saying like, okay, 30% or doing things at like 30% research, 40% capacity is so much more effective to me than, trying to wait for 100% when the other 100%, getting to 100% lies and getting the other data to respond to refine the data. I know I post when I'm like 50%, 75% sure of like what I've downloaded, what my people want to hear from me. Hi, yo. I've tapped into what my people need. But I know the other 50% of the data comes from getting other people to respond. I also think, Josh, for you, and it's funny because the only reason I know of these things are from my friend Sarah, who used to do it for cash in college. She would go to this place called the International Fragrance and Flavorings Factory, and they had people that would do like test groups to try out the product. and like give feedback to the consumer. The only other place that I know that did that is in Practical Jokers, and they would be the people that would go in and they would be pretending to pitch a product, and they would get feedback from like the people that were getting pranked. And I would also look into thinking, I did my last one for the night, yo. I'll be back on Saturday. But I'd be happy to pour into you if you have a question. If there's anything other than, I always know you ask about husband, but let me know if there's anything else besides that quickly. I'll probably be on for another 10 to 20 minutes or so. But just finishing up with Josh here, talking about like any kind of research, or like you need people, right? You can't out strategize, you can't out program a human being. Okay, there you go. Like no one can, no app, no AI, nothing can outsmart the lessons that real human connection can teach you, because it's real humans that your software is connecting with. So I think not forgetting that, like, that is a huge part of the piece of the puzzle, and sometimes you need to release something, you know, that's what it needs to look like. I had this whole, what is it, rigmarole, is that the right word? My grandmother used to say that. She's probably here right now. Thanks, Grandma. Of like, well, no one's going to take me seriously as a human design reader because I don't have my own customized chart generator. And my first thought was, why would I do human design? Because everyone's doing it. That is the biggest joke of the century. Like, we're still like years in, you know how many people still don't do, even if they do human design, they don't even do it right. So it's like, that alone is like, that was my limiting belief. So I was like, okay, where do I go from here? And you know when I got my customized chart generator was like a year and a half ago, right? How many, all of you, I think most of you that are here met me before I even had my human design chart generator. You know what people recognized within me is that I knew what the fuck I was talking about. That trumped having a customized chart generator every single day. And I was more worried about the quality of the information that I was giving people to actually impact them than I was the colors or what chart generator I was using. I literally use a composite chart from mybodygraph.com to do a comparison chart for a composite chart for one of the readings tonight. Did she have a problem with the information I gave because it was on another website versus my own? No. So it's like that kind of energy. Same as nurses. I heard everyone wants to be a nurse. Yes, exactly. Everyone can want to be, but doesn't mean everyone can do it well. But yeah, Josh, I would say, you know, the kind of core points that I'm hearing intuitively, but also with what the bit of our conversation is to just start to launch something or start to put something into form, even if you feel like you haven't researched enough. I have news for all my projectors. You're never going to feel like you've researched enough. There's never going to be a time that you feel, I'm a 1-3, right? Clara as well. We're both 1-3s. We're always going to keep researching and learning more stuff. That's what makes us always on the curve of what we're doing. Anyone who's a continual researcher and isn't like, I know everything, you can be confident in what you know up until this point and know a lot. But that means that like the best people to learn from are the people that know that it's not like, okay, well, this is the way we've always done it. We're just going to stay this way. So knowing that, and then also really looking at like the human element behind the application, like market research for what other people are doing. How are they marketing their platform? Obviously, having an app, you're going to already want to invest in, you know, going and putting up a, what is it called? Billboard that you have to scan a QR code. That's like, you know, dangerous driving, waiting to have distracted driving. You're not going to have to invest in that we know is a no-go, but you want to invest in like ad dollars online to get in front of the eyeballs. I would also look at, once the product is created, how to get in front of your consumer. Where do they live? If it's somebody that's a little bit older, maybe it's people who, maybe your market is 65 and up retirees who want to learn conversational languaging so they can say, your dad can say more than hola at the Mexican restaurant, like something funny like that. Can also be like that's a tactic in and of itself, you know. And then I would say like, okay, well, where are my 65 and up clients living? I'm using my dad as an example mentally. Where do they live? Okay, they live on Facebook. I'm not going to pay to have them, you know, be on TikTok or whatever else the new cool platform is, you know, like, so really thinking about like where your consumer's living is an important thing as well, either physically or in that way too. Oh, I love that. Do that. Yes, do that. Don't think about it. Please do it and send it to me because I want to practice too. I love that. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I say that's a perfect way to capitalize on something that's going to be trending. I mean, Anna's bilingual too, Spanish and English. I'm not fully bilingual. I can listen, escuche, more than I can speak it. But yeah, I love that idea. And then you have a deadline of February too, so that also is helpful. Lo siento. What else was I gonna say? Thank you. Yeah, my PLP is a projector, and they're stuck in perfection, starting for 2 years. Absolutely. Yeah, mostly in research planning. Yeah, it's so funny. So the undefined root, because you have a completely open root, Josh. I feel like the when I wrote about the undefined root in Patreon, that you probably resonated with that more. I also have an undefined root, but I have gates there that are tied to my personal planets, one of them being the gate of drive. So I'm like a procrastinator. Like I have the opposite problem as an undefined root. I'm like, get this done so I can be free of pressure. Like now I don't like that. Like I don't want to feel like I have something hanging over my head. So also part of the reason I don't do long email communications with people. I'm like, this is a means to an end to get on a call, because like I don't like emails hanging over my head because they're so boring to me. Yeah, do more research on Puerto Ricanisms in his lyrics. Like, yeah, absolutely. I think that there's there's people who on TikTok have posted like sing along with Bad Bunny, but I think it's like you can market it as a time sensitive approach to like XYZ days till the Super Bowl, be bilingual by February, blah, blah, blah. Speak, oh, there's some, like, I'm trying to think of, like, fun ways you could say it, like, because Bad Bunny Spanish is, right, it's, like, the Caribbean Spanishisms, where it's, like, the words don't exactly translate, even, like, beans, like, frijoles versus habichuelas is like a different, like Puerto Rico and Cuba are how far from each other, and it's like two different things. But yeah, I love that. I'll have to think on some like isms I can give you too. I'll write them to you in Patreon. But yeah, I only really speak English fluently. I can speak Spanish and a little French. But that's it. That's it. But I think that that's a perfect opportunity. And like in his colors are like bright and fun. Like I think of like Un Verano Sin Ti, like that is one of my favorite albums, and it's just like bright and very like Zara Larsson. Also Zara Larsson would be really good. She's trending too, and she's Swedish. So even though she speaks in English, her concerts when she's abroad, she'll speak in Swedish. So I feel like she would be a good person. And maybe that's another opportunity, right? What are we talking about? Oh, I just got chills. We're talking about learning a language through song. That's one of my lessons with the woman who, so maybe it's a music translating app to learn languages. And that could be another opportunity. I just made you $1 million. You're welcome. No, but I would love like that. I would love that. I'd be like, oh my, okay, how much do I need to charge? Like, this is fun. This is now a game. It's not a chore, right? And then you could have it where it's like I think of like how like kids have the like it's the words, and it'll be like like every word, it could be like the word association can be with whatever the sentence is. So it's like if you have it like how they say like it's like A, B, C, D for kids, it would be like tirar más fotos. Like it could be a Polaroid picture, because it's like I should have taken more photos. I should have given them more hugs. And then it could be like the emoji of people embracing. I should have blah, blah, blah. Like those, that would be cool, right? Like I'm excited about that. Like I'm like, okay, Josh, can you make it so I can use it? Fuck Preply, I'll join Josh's app. No. But actually though, like that's something that I'm like, oh, that is like, that's a fun way. And then you could see like the progress that, like people could see the progress that they've made based on maybe like the album. I know what you're probably overthinking is like, okay, well, what's the copyright issue or something like that. But like, maybe it could be where like it's the beat to the song or some variation of it, that it's like when people have beats or music in their songs that they don't have, yeah, exactly, that they don't have like copyright to, you can edit the pitch where it's like a little bit higher, and then you can use the colors where people would know. But if you kind of like Un Verano Sin Ti is like, that album was Summer Without You, or Summer Without You is like you could use the colors where people would know, right? Like people would know enough about the about that, but I think that there's a huge opportunity for that too. Or, you know, you could start off by, if you, like Anna, for example, is a projector that's bilingual. If you wanted to come up with like your own songs, right? Like if you were to try to like create a team, it would be like, let me consult with Anna, who's bilingual. She knows the Dominicanisms, but she also speaks fluent Dominican, Caribbean, Spanish, right? There's a combination of both those things, but I can write what I want to teach people about the song. Or like I think of like Weird Al, like his loophole was like I remember, this is like dating myself and it's so niche, I don't even know if you will remember it, but there was the Riding Dirty song, and he did a parody and called it White and Nerdy. Like I would be like, okay, that's kind of like the same thing. So like, it's not, but it is, right? Where it's like, how can I have the same type of beat, but the lyrics are different? So like you would consult someone like Anna, things along those lines. Like I'm giving you a little bit more information, but I think that's kind of like hi Justin. I'm finishing up a paid reading for Josh, but what do you want to know? Like, give me more of a ask a more specific question other than just like, can you predict my future? Because that sounds like either you're baiting me into something that like you don't believe in anyway, or like I need something more than that. But yeah, music sticks in the brain so much. Yes, easier too. Yeah, you just made someone, which I swear to God, I really did. And the thing is, like, for my placements too, like, I've had so many ideas like that over time that, like, even giving them for free, you know, at 10 o'clock at night on TikTok, like, that, I'm happy. Oh, hi, Justin. Oh, I love that. Hello, other Justin. Justin number 1, Justin number 2's in the chat. Sorry, Justin Villa. But yeah, the cup runneth over with ideas like that. That's my 4426 channel, the gift that keeps on giving of like marketing. And but thank you for the acknowledgement, I appreciate you. And that's the thing, right? Like if we weren't lazy, like in those ways, like how many like apps would we have created at this point too, having that type of energy. But Justin, I'm pretty sure you can tell me something about me. I mean, whenever I see somebody that doesn't have a profile picture, a troll. You're a troll? A bridge troll? No, I mean, I'm sure you're nicer than that. But I think, yeah, I don't know. It's not really interesting to me when there's not something specific that I'm helping somebody with. I'm not interested in like telling you what your love life is going to be or anything like that. I've gotten to the point where I tell the universe to give the great idea to someone who can use it. Exactly. Like someone who has the means and like the good, and I know you had all these stipulations, but the good usage of that. But yeah, Josh, I know that with the daily routines video that we're talking about, I think like at the end of the day, in all honesty, you know how to make the money. It's just a matter of like making the decision on what platform, like where you host the app, who is the developer for the app, those types of things. Hi, Chris. That'll help you. You just need to get out of your own way and start to make some decisions of like, okay, maybe this payment platform is the first one that I use, but I can always, I think with what you're doing, there's always things that are going to be able to be changed over time, right? Like something I was talking about with Clara, because her and I had a call together, and we were talking about like different platforms, and I was like, okay, well, when you move people from one platform to another, like you're ultimately going to lose people. You know, if I ever wanted to change Patreon, for example, and it's like, for now, I like Patreon, I like its functionality, it does what it has to do for me, but I reserve my right to change my mind, because it's not like Patreon is the only thing that exists like that, right? And the bright people who are meant to be with me will stay, but it's like if and when I need a different option, I'm just going to make that decision because it's what my business requires. Excuse me. It's a seltzer for you. My burp of truth. But yeah, just those kinds of things to think about also. But it's like procrastination for any of us is always going to be our own biggest delay. And that's what I was saying full circle to, like, for me, Clara, any motivational YouTube short, oh my God, who's the Marin Gideon, David Goggins, Tony Robbins, Mel Robb, all the Robbinses, all the birds. You know, they're all going to say the same thing. And it's like the more you think about something, the further away it gets from you. I'll never forget, and this is the first time I ever heard it in words, that Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of Eat, Pray, Love, she was saying how in her book, Big Magic, she had an idea for a book and she was thinking on it, didn't send it into any publisher, didn't finalize a manuscript. She had the concept in her head and kind of wrote it down, but really didn't. And she went to a talk in person where another one of her friends was presenting the idea for like the research for her book or whatnot, and the exact concept of the book and the heaviest hitting points her friend mentioned and was like, this is the what was I gonna say? This is the title, the location, and like the person's age were different, but it's like if we don't act on those ideas, like someone else is going to eventually do it. I've had so many, even like pieces of content that like I think about making, and literally there was a video that I ended up retweeting the day before. I had the exact same idea for the piece of content about letting them suffer. And the next day on my For You page, I didn't film it right away, and obviously, and the next day on my For You page was that viral video of the guy that was sitting there that was like the let them suffer. I didn't have it in those exact vocabulary words, but it's like exactly what he said was exactly what I was going to talk about and make a piece of content about, but I didn't get to it quick enough, right? And it's like, instead of me sitting in that and being like, oh my God, I know that I have other good ideas, good things that I have, things every day that I post that help people, but it's just a good reminder to be like, okay, the universe gave me this idea to do this shit. I better get it together, right? And it's like, and part of that is like the nurturing of the research and things like that too. But you know, ultimately, it's like when you are painting a painting and you keep changing like little, the timing exactly, you keep changing and tweaking little things, and then you step away from the painting and you're like, oh my God, like I ruined it. And so research can do the same thing with projects also. So I think you and I both, we all know that like the research phase is probably, you'll always be doing research, but that there's something else that has to be done next step that you know and have researched your way into an answer, but there's a understanding why you're hesitant about doing it. And I think also, like, I would say, like, copyright, trademark, like, monetizing your intellectual property, that is something that I would prioritize. If you want to go to the trademark, use the song software idea and trademark that shit, and, you know, I was also thinking of, what just popped into my head is, like, the DDR, Dance Dance Revolution. Having it be, like, a physical, like, workout that you have to do as you're singing a song and trying to learn another language. That could be a whole nother thing, but, you know, no, when I think it's that feeling of like, especially as Pluto goes into Aquarius, Uranus and Gemini, the time's only going to go faster. So it's like, what's how can we understand that a sense of urgency is important, and that we can't research our way into making ourselves known in a lot of ways too. So, but yeah, I'll stay on for like 7 more minutes. Let me know if you guys have any other questions before I hop off for the evening, and then we'll go from there. So thank you for the follow. Hydrating is important. Yeah, absolutely. And I think like just paying attention to where Jupiter is, how to figure out those aspects for, yeah, capitalizing on that too. Conjunct your sun, show up and show out for sure. Are you excited about the fire horse here? I am. I'm excited to see like in my very like Aquarian, like how am I observing the human species way. I'm excited to see, like, I love the predictive aspects, and then I like seeing like the real, you're welcome Josh, thank you, I'm excited. Let me know when it's out and how we can support you. But I'm excited to see like how people actually come together. I know like I am just really tired of people like especially at the end of my Saturn return, just because my Saturn's like conjunct my sun in Pisces, like just really I've been really tired of not feeling respected. Like lack of respect and people respecting me is like has been like a huge thing for really understanding, like, and it's because I didn't even know, not that I didn't respect myself, but I didn't know what things were bigger triggers to me when it came to respect. So I'm excited to see that like in the year of the fire horse, where it's like we've shed the skin of the year of the snake and we're running together with our, I don't know what a group of horses are, but whatever that is, like we're running together. Like how do we have people that are really, like Claire and I were talking about too, like I'm really excited to be around more people who are doing cool shit and do what they say and are like excited. Like there's a lot of defeatism right now. A herd? I think, yeah, maybe a herd. That sounds right. We'll go with that. But yeah, a herd of horses. I like the alliteration. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that, Clara, too. And the big word, I think, hi, Maria. is novelty. Like, I'm an Aquarius rising. Like, I need shit to be interesting. And this always happens to me just in my life. Thank you, Maria. Like, I always get, like, I need to realize that, like, respect for me, or lack of people respecting me, thank you, is when, I get bored. So it's almost like I've gotten lazy, and then I'm like, okay, like, where, it's not that they're intentionally being disrespectful. It's just like, oh, like, you are kind of boring. Sorry. Like, oh, that's a me thing. Like, you don't interest me. I'm sorry. You know, like that. So it's like that, and not that I have, and those people are going to be interesting to somebody else, but yeah, complacency. It's like, yeah. And it's funny because I'm always like, it doesn't take me very long to get to those moments, but it's just a repeat cycles of like I'll isolate my way out of it as an Aquarius Mars, right? So it's like, I'm like, oh, like, I'm just gonna go away from you. But now I'm like, okay, I need something else to fill the excitement. So it's like, what is that? Where does that kind of happen? And yeah, it's like, yeah, novelty, I think, is just the biggest word for the fire horse here. It's like, what just feels like I want people to have a passion for things that are actually productive to their lives, where they can actually make a difference. I think that's what I'm also kind of looking forward, that I see, like, not that everyone will get there, but I see more of the people who are actually capable of that this year. You know, I said it yesterday, I'm like, if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. And I don't think people have realized, like, how much when they're complaining about something, or they don't realize they're complaining, they think they're just sharing what's happened to them, but it's like, it comes to a point where it's like, I've already heard that story, I remember it, so like, what else are we doing about that? You know, it's just like, I know that this tarot card reader that you don't get along with on social media was some type of way, but like, fuck up, like, who the fuck are they? You don't even see, you are intentionally going to their page. They're not even a real coworker. You know, like, that shit, I'm like, just stop talking to me. Like, that, I just don't have patience for anymore. You have a very fertile mind that craves growth, and I love that for you. Thank you. Thank you. I love that. I'm screenshotting that. Yeah, I just need, like, mutual mental, like I said, like a more cerebral energy when I was talking to you, Clara. Like, I just need people who are, like, just at the level, right? And that makes the pool smaller, but it's like, as I've grown and developed, it's like, that's what my kind of clientele is shifting into, and I'm happy to teach beginners, but I just don't thrive in always being the person that's teaching the beginner, and it's not, the novelty's worn off for that. You know, it was fine at the beginning of TikTok, but I feel like there's certain aspects where I'm like, okay, like, I can do enough for my beginners, but like, where are the people that can actually have like a deeper conversation about what they want out of life and like aren't afraid to do it? Throughout my nodal opposition and my Saturn return, I definitely learned more about like how to look out for certain people that like, what I said to Lauren earlier, like, they want what I have, they don't want what my offer is. And you know, there's data in being able to like, you know, it's kind of like people can turn that into like a selling people what they want and giving them what they need. But it's like, with certain folks, it can get a little slimy, and I'm not locking myself into people that I don't care to be around. Like, if you aren't somebody that's like functional enough in your business, you know, I'm happy to get people off the ground in their business, but I want people who are like, when I had somebody who did mentorship with me this year that I'm thinking of specifically, and she had 2 teenage daughters, owned a gym with her husband. This is the lady that a couple of you were around for, Anna and Orion. At least that I remember, that like, I was gonna do an event with her, and because I told her like, yeah, I'm not your social media manager. Like, if I have a fucking mentorship meeting with you, why the fuck are you coming out of the salon answering a FaceTime Zoom call, or Zoom call on FaceTime in Central Park? Like, fuck off. Like, that was literally my response, and I was like, thank God this is the last one, because I'm like, I know you want to make me small in your business to make you look good, but like, the level of lack of self-awareness that you have, and you think that you're reading people so well, is embarrassing. I was like, yeah, fuck no, it's never happening again. And that was just like a huge, like, it was so disrespectful. And I was like, you have like, because the biggest thing that I see, so 7:30 to 9:30 on Thursdays, and then I'll be 2:30 to 4:30 all Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays. So I'll be here on Saturday too. But because the bigger thing that I see is not just the lack of showing up and being able to sit and do your assignment right, and I'm having to explain that to a 40-year-old, but the fact that you have 2 young daughters that have you as a mom, and like, obviously we know the weight of like, you know, mother-daughter relationships, and those of you who know me, you know, more personally or have been here for a while know what I've shared. Like, you have 2 daughters that you are teaching by example, if even not by direct like education, to that it is okay to act that way. And like, that is like you need to get your shit together, girl. Like that, I was just like, no, I'm not being around people who want that. Or like people who tell me that like, well, I'm 30 and my mom told me that I'm better than that person, so I should be on the stage. And I'm like, this is not Disney World. Like, this is that, you know, we can go there when it's time to go to Disney, happy to go to Disney. But when it ain't Disney time, you know, this is like the real world we're talking about. So I'm like, that's like an immediate turn off. Taste is my strongest sense for a reason. So that's where I'm at. But yeah, thank you, Orion. Yeah, although I still would have dosed through. Yes, HG and Gene Keys either way. I know. I'm glad we found each other too. Yeah, you need your tribe and to learn from them too in whatever way you can. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, sunbikes for those. It's true. And I've gotten a lot. That person, the one lady I'm talking about specifically was a Gemini rising. Hi, Jules. Good afternoon. I'm about to hop off and get to bed sooner than later, but like the negatively aspected elements of like a Gemini rising, you know, and Gemini is my 5th house, so it's like a weird, like it just makes sense for the synastry, but like it was just a micro version that was very macro. And then, you know, I told her I didn't want to do that anymore. She was like, at mentorship anymore. She was like, ended up blocking me on social media. And I was like, are you 12 years old? Like, you don't even post. Like, we're not even going to, you're not even going to, I'm going to forget that you're even here anyway. So, like, it was just not it. But I share that because it's so fucking exhausting. And if I could save one person from having somebody like that in their business, in their spiritual business, I'm happy to help. But yeah, I'll stay on like 10. I was winding down for the night. But I will, I'll stay on for 10 more minutes for Jules to help you with your chores. Jules is my cousin. Yeah, amount of people have blocked me. I know. It's honestly, it's like good. Like, do the dirty work for me. Weed yourself out early and often, and then I don't have to do it. I'd rather, it's like I love the block button as a Scorpio stellium. I'm like, I will be open enough as a Pisces, but if like you really start to get like disrespectful or like annoying or just like, I just don't want it, like I just don't vibe with you. Like, I would rather somebody tell me straight up they don't like me than like keep me around for some like weird observational task. Even if I don't have somebody blocked, like I don't think about going to research you. That's where my Aquarius Mars saves my Scorpio stellium, because like I won't forget, right? Obviously I'm talking about a client as an example a year or 2 later, whatever it was, or yeah, 2 years or whatever it was, but like I don't think about researching somebody that bothers me. I don't get that like mentality of like having to like see what somebody else is doing. I'm like, I you know, in high school when there was nothing else to do, maybe, but like not at 30 years old. Like I don't, my brain doesn't operate that way. Yeah, the quick block button is real. Cause it's just like, I think that it speaks to where we want to stay connected on the internet, but we don't want everybody to, hello, is that Bunches? Yes, I saw the yellow heart before I saw your name. Hello. I'm gonna be on for like 10 more minutes and then I'm hopping off for the night. I have to be up a little earlier tomorrow for my usual routine, but I'm staying on for you and Jules for about 10 more minutes so that I can spend some time with you guys. But what I was gonna say is that it speaks to like us creating, even if we don't have private accounts, like more privacy in terms of like the people that actually have access to us, and that like I don't need to be open for public consumption for everybody on the internet. Like if you are somebody who's like not actually adding, like looking for advice or not actually adding to the conversation and are just trying to like prove what you know in the comment section, or like it's like when people come on and like in like the early days of Instagram, it was like the unspoken kind of like poaching, like the word I was mentioning earlier, like poaching of like, oh, if I go into somebody's live and I'm like, hey, I also do this thing too, like, you know, I think of like the days of like Beachbody or like multi-level marketing, and that kind of mentality infiltrated itself into human design, astrology, like these kinds of spaces as well, where it's like, oh, well, if I go into this space and I connect with other people that are in this person's life, then that means that they're going to book with me too, or whatever the case is. And that doesn't work. It just puts a bad taste in everybody's mouth, because it's like, look at that person. We know what you're doing. You know, even if it's like some people will keep them in their spiritual lives to stay, but it's like you are, instead of posting consistently, which is what actually gets you views, and posting content that people actually care about, you're hoping that you can be lazy and ride that's what riding the coattails actually looks like. You want to ride the coattails of work that other people have already done to build authentic connections. And Clara, I would love to hear like your perspective on something like that too, either in a piece of content or something, but that would be interesting for to hear your thoughts on that as well, or like how you've seen it manifest and have had it happen, I'm sure. But you know, it's kind of like you can tell that person isn't confident in whatever it is that they're selling, no matter what, even in not the spiritual space. It's just like you are there can't just be one human design reader. There has to be more of me, more astrologers, hi Marie, more people out there that are doing this kind of work. But like, you have to bloom or you're planted. And that just because we're all on the internet, we all live on Earth, but I don't live in the same country. Same thing with the internet, right? Like my clients and who I attract and who I work with are going to connect with me because I'm me. Hi, Blanca. Not everybody, is going to be meant to be reading my clients also. And it's not to say that like they can't get readings from other human design readers, but it's like nobody who does it operates in that way. It's like it's like tasteless and classless is how I see it. Like, it's just not not even how I see it. It's just what it is. And obviously it's my opinion, but it's also just like, nobody's going to like that. Like, what are you doing? Everyone the best way I can describe the frequency of that as an intuitive person is they come in like this. They feel kind of like cracked out. It's like, okay, hi, how is everybody? I'm going to type in capital letters and oh my God, look at me. Like that's the frequency of that. And you can see, like, even when you scroll through the different lives of tarot card readers, like who are the people that feel passionate yet grounded versus who are the people that are like, the angle is weird and it looks kind of like the quick Cookie Monster pajama pants cash grab. You guys know the type of people that I'm talking about? It's like, that's what's ruined part of the taste of people who have no concept of spirituality. Those of us kind of get, like with that guy today, like get bagged into that kind of category because they just don't know any better. So we're also fighting through that. But it's like, I'm not, I've been around long enough to know that, when you state your claim, you just obviously know what you're talking about. There's no need to be concerned with that too. And so, they came out really well. I posted them I don't know if you have Instagram. I posted them on Instagram. I think I can post a picture on YouTube in the community. But I loved how they came out. I made, I'm still eating leftover Demogorgon chocolate covered strawberries. I made more, than I anticipated, or like I didn't need as many. And then I did the happy birthday cupcakes with like the little lights. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for asking. But yeah, I think that's it for the night. I think that's all my time on my soapbox has to offer. I'm feeling my depletion energy. I have a couple things to do tomorrow, and then I'm not going to be on tomorrow on YouTube or TikTok, but I will be on Saturday from 2:30 to 4:30. Next Saturday, the 17th, I got booked for a reading at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, so I'll be on at like 3:45 after that. But yeah, I know, it's okay. I mean, you have a busy life and busy family. But I will be back on Saturday for that